Yo, what is up, gamers? Oh man, I did not fix my lights, dude. This lighting looks like crap. Give me a second, folks. Give me a second. All right, I gotta fix the lighting. You see, I lit the studio for the tabletop production that I did with Jesse yesterday, but did not move the lights around for this deal right here. So I'll be right back. Let's go. This tournament is sponsored by Dragon Shield. Dragon Shield makes the highest quality sleeves and accessories for your favorite tabletop games, like the Pokémon TCG. Dragon Shield sleeves are super durable, making them perfect for tournament play and collecting. They also come in a huge variety of colors, so there's always a great choice to match your deck. You can even turn your favorite photograph or design into a custom box of Dragon Shield sleeves using the Sleeve Crafter on DragonShield.com. Head over to DragonShield.com and place an order for your favorite sleeves today. Use code TrickyJim at checkout for 5% off your order. Again, that's DragonShield.com for the highest quality sleeves and accessories for your favorite tabletop games. Huge thank you to Dragon Shield for being a continued sponsor of the channel. Are we back? See? A world of difference. That looks so much better. Welcome, everybody, to Tricky Jim. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you're having a most magical Thursday and are ready for some Gym Leader Challenge content, because that's what we've got on tap tonight. Some sweet GLC action and gameplay. Gonna be a lot of fun. I am really starting to get hyped for Phantasmal Flames now. Phantasmal Flames, I mean, it's right around the corner. It's happening. It is almost here, really. Like, realistically, it's almost here. Because pre-releases are starting, like next weekend? Pre-releases are a week away. Jesse and I just started testing Phantasmal Flames format, and apparently many of you can start testing some part of Phantasmal Flames as well, since apparently Toxtricity and Gengar and Diancie are all legal on the Pokemon trading card game live right now. I know there's a lot of players that are kind of lamenting that, as they want to test for the excuse me 1 second here, I gotta respond to a message. The champion play mats for our RSPK event, I just got confirmation, has been printed, so I will be picking that up from a shop up in the Cleveland area tomorrow. So, yes, RSPK event on Saturday. We've got our midnight pre-release happening next week. And we've also got the Phantasmal Flame 6K coming up. Toxtricity and Mega Gengar, Mega Diancie, all legal on the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live a couple weeks early. I know there's a lot of people kind of beefing about that over on the X application, Elon Musk's Everything app, because there are like 6 events, premier, championship point awarding events happening in our current standard format before those cards become tournament legal. And yep. Looks like you might have to just test the old-fashioned way with paper. It doesn't really bother me, because to me it's like, oh, well then, just test the old-fashioned way. Like, I don't know. Like, everybody's on the same playing field. It's not like some people are getting to test on the ladder, without those cards. It's like everybody's on the same playing field. So I know people are really upset and like annoyed or whatever, but like to me it's just like, I don't know, man. You expect too much of the Pokemon Company International. You truthfully expect too much. You think that they care, bro? You think that they care that Mega Gengar and Mega Diancie are not legal for another, like 6 weeks, and that they've just dropped it in the middle of the... No, they probably don't care. Like, so, I don't know. To me, it's just like, well, just got to do what you got to do. You got to go back to testing in paper. Just like back in my day, we used to test in paper every day. I don't know. Kind of feeling like a boomer. Anyways, thank you so much, Connor, for that sub in the 64 months. I really appreciate it. And thank you all so much for being here. We've got round 1 underway. Yo, Red Sky, I see you. Red Sky 1217. Andrew, is there any way you could update the base set cube you did a while back? The file was corrupted. Are you talking about the 2-player drafting experience? That I will have to look into, if that's the one you're talking about. The 2-player drafting experience. Yes. I will. I think I saw you commented somewhere about it. You commented on a YouTube video about it? Yes. I have to look into that. But thank you for bringing that to my attention. I really want to get that. I got to figure out what happened to the file, but honestly, I just had a lot going on this week. So, I don't know if you have like, Twitter or anything or whatever, but like, if I don't get it done in like a week or so, just bug me about it again, because I would like to get that updated. Round number 1 is underway, folks. Here at Full Grip Games, let's go. 19 players in the house tonight. That means we've got a 5-rounder. Yes, 5 whole rounds. Let's go, baby. 5 rounds. And we have got Hunter on the left, ready to redeem himself. On stream. You love a good redemption arc. At least I do anyways. And then we've got JD on the right. And it looks like Hunter is playing Garb Psychic, and JD is playing Dragon with Evolutions. Okay. Very fun, very fun. If you're unfamiliar with the Gym Leader Challenge format, let me enlighten you for a moment, dear viewer. Gym Leader Challenge is a ton of fun. It is a custom Pokemon TCG format. The most popular alternate format in the Pokemon TCG. I mean, next to Standard, it is certainly the next most played format in the Pokemon TCG. And it uses cards all the way from Black and White through the most recent expansion. And it's a singleton format, so you can only play one of each card except for basic energy in your deck. It's a mono-type format, so you can only play one type of Pokemon in your deck, like a Gym Leader might. And then it is also a non-rule box format, so no cards with a rule box are legal for play in Gym Leader Challenge formats. You can read more about this wonderful way to play the Pokemon trading card game at gymleaderchallenge.com. Well, now you got me. Let's see, Cube Koga. I'm going to go look up Cube Koga. All right, let's see. Red Sky, you still here? I'm going to look up Ultimate 2-Player Draft. Yo, that's my cube right there. The Ultimate 2-Player Draft. There it is. Yeah, I've got the link right here. It's on Cube Koga. All right. Yeah. Red Sky, let me know if that takes you there, because I'm looking at the Ultimate 2-Player Drafting experience right now on cubekoga.net. So that should take you there. I'll just have to update that link on my original YouTube video, because I don't know what the heck went on there. But anyways, round number 1 is underway. So let's get this party started. We have got JD on the right versus Hunter on the left. And Hunter is playing Psychic with Garbodor. JD is playing Dragons with Garchomp, obviously. as we see a Gibble in the active, swinging for the fences with a turn 1 Max Elixir there. Love Max Elixir. Very fun card. You get to look at the top 6 cards of your deck, choose a basic energy, find there, attach it to one of your bench Pokemon. Not only does JD miss the Max Elixir, but also misses an energy attachment. And oh my goodness, what fun. Okay. Folks, the new hotness, the new tech in the Garbodor deck has already been revealed, as we see that Hunter immediately benches the Cresselia, okay, with Moonglow Reverse. And it must be because Hunter's hand is not very good, because this is not an attacker that you want in this matchup. The Cresselia with the Moonglow Reverse attack for 1 Psychic Energy allows you to move 2 damage counters from each of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. This is a tech for Ting Lu, which is a very prominently featured card in the new builds of fighting. Ting Lu spreads 30 damage to all of your Pokemon. Moonglow Reverse can take those damage counters and then move them onto your opponent's Pokemon. Now, obviously, you'd still be left over with, 10 damage on all your guys, but still, Cresselia going to be doling out a lot more damage than you'll be receiving over the course of multiple turns. And I think that with the fact that, Ting Lu can go through bench barrier with Silent Lab and stuff like that, I think that the Cresselia is probably a better answer than Silent Lab in the Psychic decks the Cresselia is a better answer than the bench barrier Pokemon like Mew or Mr. Mime for the Ting Lu situation. So very interesting card there from Hunter, and uses Cleffa's Eek to fill his hand to 7 to end his turn. Over on JD's side, we do see that JD has got a Gabite online, able to start using its Dragon Call ability. Can use Dragon Call. I think searched out the Tatsugiri off of Dragon Call. Dragon Call allows you to get a Dragon Pokemon from your deck to your hand once during your turn. And Tatsugiri can help get you a supporter. We see JD's able to get Crispin going, which can allow him to attach 2 energy during this turn. So, whereas last turn he had absolutely nothing, this turn he's got 2 energy in play. So it's almost like he didn't miss an energy attachment, and I'm sure that that's got to be feeling pretty good for him. You know what else feels good? A Lily's Determination for 8 when you're trying to get things moving. And Hunter is certainly trying to get things moving now. He is looking at a board with a potential Drudagon coming in hot, a potential Garchomp coming in hot as well. JD could very easily get this Garchomp going. I think he has water energy in hand, and both fire and fighting energy on his bench Pokemon. So with the water energy in hand, could use Gabite's Dragon Call ability to go search out Garchomp and then evolve into Garchomp, activate that Sonic Slip ability, and then Dragon Blade for 160. So JD is setting up a board where basically he's going to get the turn 3 Garchomp going first, which is very threatening because not only are you dealing 160 damage with a 160 hit point Pokemon pretty early in the game, but you are also making yourself invincible, right? So the Garchomp is guaranteed going to go 2 for 1. I mean, there's really not a lot of ways around the Sonic Slip ability. We see Hunter working to try and get that Garbodor up now, but it is going to be futile for sure, because really the big ability that he wants to stop is that Sonic Slip ability. And I do think that JD is probably going to pounce with Garchomp this next turn if he can. He does have to find a way to move this Tatsugiri. So that is like the one question mark about this. Can he move the Tatsugiri? We see an escape rope there off of the attract customers, but Guzma will certainly do it. We see that JD finds Guzma off the attract customers. Guzma allows him to move one of his bench Pokemon into the active spot. And this poor Cresselia has only got 160 hit points with the Fighting Fury belt. So JD going for the Dragon Call, finds Garchomp. And I think that this Cresselia, not long for this world. Here comes the Guzma, and it's going to be Trubbish. Oh, Trubbish, really? I would have definitely expected JD to go in on the Cresselia, as his board does not seem very ability reliant right now. So, yeah, from Hunter's perspective, I feel like Hunter's kind of getting away with one here, losing an unevolved Trubbish with a U-turn board on it. It's not that bad. I mean, it hasn't even evolved yet. Very easy to recover. Losing a Cresselia with 2 energy would certainly be worse. So JD going for the Dragon Blade, 160 damage, has to discard the top 2 cards of his deck. And Hunter really kind of coming out of that not as bad as it could have been, because still has a potential attacker ready. Now, this Garchomp is invincible this turn, thanks to that Sonic Slip ability. So, not the easiest turn for Hunter still. May have to take yet another turn off to use Cleffa's Eek attack, and if so, this will be the, 3rd turn straight that Hunter is having to use Eek. And see, this is exactly why JD absolutely should have taken out the Cresselia. This is, 100%, you're just seeing it right here, because Hunter did have the boss's orders in hand and is able to go Lunar Blast for 120 damage to take out JD's backup attacker. So JD instantaneously is getting punished for the line that he took, taking out the Trubbish instead of the Cresselia. Hunter is not able to make that play if he takes out the Cresselia. So now we've actually got ourselves a really interesting game. You can kind of see how these little decisions, like who do I bring up with Guzma and stuff like that, can have ripple effects throughout the rest of the game, because now Hunter has an attacker in the active spot, has a Mimikyu on the bench. Mimikyu is actually a fantastic answer to just about every single attacker, I think, in JD's deck, because Copycat allows you to use whatever attack your opponent used last turn as the effect of this attack. So all Hunter needs to do is figure out a way to find Dimension Valley with an attachment, or get the Xatu into play. All Hunter has to do is power up this Mimikyu. Thank you so much, Red Sky, for that gifted sub. I really appreciate it, Red Sky. Glad you're enjoying the ultimate 2-player drafting experience. Thank you so much. All right, it looks like Hunter has got Xatu on play. Xatu in play. Clairvoyant Sense to accelerate that extra energy into play. And with the attachment from hand, this Mimikyu is ready to rock and roll. And here it comes. Copycat for 160 damage. Has to discard the top 2 cards of his deck. It's a Psychic and Teammates. Teammates, tough loss, but who cares? JD has no board now. Absolutely nothing. Does actually have Lance in hand with double Dragon Energy, so can actually make this Respond KO happen, because JD has everything he needs to respond. So this is very exciting. JD has got Super Rod in hand, can recover the Drudagon with the water and fire and fighting energy, put them back into the deck, then can use Lance to search his deck for 3 dragon Pokemon, put them into his hand. And this is exactly what JD needs. It's the perfect the perfect supporter for JD to have this turn is Lance, because the problem with JD's board is that he does not have any Pokemon, just the Tatsugiri, no attackers. So I can't believe it, but JD does have the perfect hand to respond to this pressure from Hunter. Finds Dreepy, which can evolve into Dracloak, as well as Raging Bolt and Druddigon. Raging Bolt is one of the few attackers that Mimikyu's not very good against. It's a swing and a miss off the Tatsugiri, but I'm fully expecting to see Double Dragon Energy drop onto this Druddigon with a Revenge. And that would be 160 damage, easily clearing the Mimikyu. Already played Lance this turn, so has Guzma in hand but can't use it. And Revenge will take the knockout. Hunter promoting the Xatu. Hunter does have counter energy in hand, so does have the ability to power up that Iron Boulder with just one energy attachment. Just has to make sure that he matches hand sizes. Now, last week, Hunter was in the thick of a game and had a critical error where he did not carefully count his hand to match hand sizes with his opponents before attempting to use Iron Boulder. So hoping for Hunter's sake that that is not the situation that we're about to see here. And I mean, I think JD's got a lot more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So maybe it was impossible for Hunter. Well, yeah, it was impossible for Hunter to match this hand size because JD's got 6 cards in hand. So Hunter was not going to be able to match it because he quickballed away a card. So Hunter started his turn with 6 cards in hand. I think this is fine. You just promote the Mewtwo and use Psy Pump to accelerate 2 more energy into play. Psy Pump can put those 2 energy on the boulder. That seems fine, right? Oh, you can actually put them wherever you want. He's going to just put them onto the Mewtwo? That's crazy, right? Because the Mewtwo with Limit Break is threatening 180 damage. I don't hate this play from Hunter. It does open him up to be extraordinarily punished if JD plays Fighting Fury Belt in his list, right? Because this Druddigon has the Dragon Claw attack, which does 120 damage. Mewtwo's 130 hit points. So if JD can just buff that Dragon Claw by 10, he could take a knockout on the Mewtwo and just absolutely annihilate whatever it is that Hunter is trying to do. But I'm thinking that that option might not be available. JD finally able to expand his bench to 4, getting the Parallel City out of there with Stormy Mountain. Stormy Mountains also allows him to go search out a bench Pokemon. So going to go get that Regidrago. And yeah, there's a lot of nice little updates that you could get from Phantasmal Flames for this Garbodor list. This is the very similar list to the list that Jesse Parker used to finish 2nd place at the Mega Evolution Gym Leader Challenge 3K. And you've got the Wondrous patch, which is coming out. It's basically a psychic patch, which attaches a psychic energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. That's obviously going to be very good. I think just like an auto include in a lot of Psychic Gym Leader Challenge decks. You've also potentially got the new Zacian, which could be a big player as well. I mean, I think that the Mewtwo is better than the Zacian. Zacian's got a 2 energy attack. If your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards, the attack does 90 plus 50, so 140. I don't know. The Zacian is quite good, and it being just a 2 energy attacker with 130 hit points, I mean, it is quite good still. But Mewtwo hitting that 180 does seem just very strong. JD is going to keep the pressure up with Guzma. Doesn't get another energy drop down, but is able to use the Dragon Claw attack. Or not Dragon Claw. Able to use the Revenge for 40 to knock out Cleffa on the bench. Hunter evolves Malamar into play, can start juicing extra energy, and now has to make a 4-2 comeback, but does have, I'd say Hunter definitely has the board advantage at this point. Double Dragon energy going down. JD doesn't have any energy in play right now, but does have Rescue Stretcher. Could find something like a Raihan. Let's see, JD doing the correct sequencing. Gonna Recon Directive first, and then Tatsugiri. Raihan is very good. I think I see that Raihan there in JD's hand. So Raihan could guarantee the return knockouts. And then all Hunter has to do is find a way to match hand sizes, because, I mean, right now, JD's hand is looking pretty good, pretty big. JD has been continuing to accrue cards with Tatsugiri every turn. Yeah, I think that the Zacian is probably worth finding room for. 140 damage in the back half of the game is just incredibly strong. And it's just a very easy attack to power up. It's going to be easier than Boulder or Necrozma. I mean, Boulder and Necrozma are like your leads. Mewtwo and Zacian are like your closers. So maybe, I think probably like the Nihilego ends up getting cut. But the Nihilego is probably already cut for like a bench barrier or like an answer to Tinglu. So it's tough, right? Ooh, the Wishful Baton on the Druddigan will pass 1 fire energy back. But can Hunter do anything? I mean, Hunter, does he even have a supporter card? JD's hand is huge. Hunter has been playing with no supporter for the last many turns. I think he does have a supporter there. It's Arvin. But can he match hand sizes is the thing. I mean, he benched this Necrozma, and I think that, like, I think Hunter needs to think more about hand size before you start benching things, right? Like, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because it's going to be close, right? It is going to be close. So I really would have liked to see Hunter hold that Necrozma to the end of the sequence here. You can use Night Stretcher to get a Psychic Energy back and then increase your hand size with the Xatu. And we're going, why are we going on to Necrozma? Because he has the Dimension Valley in hand? I guess so, right? Field Blower. This is actually really strong. If he's got the Dimension Valley in hand, then this line makes sense. And he does. Okay, so that's what Hunter's doing. Hunter's actually got it all figured out. So he benched the Necrozma because he knew he was going Necrozma this whole time because he had the Dimension Valley in hand. And with the Field Blower, I mean, this is pretty much the perfect sequence from Hunter. The Luxurious Cape on the Necrozma, I mean, and here it is. This is as good as it gets for Hunter. This is a best case scenario situation. And Necrozma going to take a huge knockout with Special Laser. 160 damage. Field Blower to remove that Wishful Baton. JD, we know, does not have access to Field Blower, but does have an Escape Rope. Night Stretcher. Raihan for Rope. Verseeker. Does he have the Water Energy in hand? I don't think he does. You can't get Rope and and Water off of the... I think JD played this a little fast. I don't think he has it like he thinks he does. He does not have that Water. It's a Lightning Energy in his hand. So JD, like, very quickly started going through this end game sequence, like, oh yeah, just Raihan, Water, and Escape Rope, but he cannot get both Water and Rope. So right now, JD is going to have to sandbag one more turn. He's got the Escape Rope in hand. If he finds Water Energy, so I think that JD did missequence this a little bit because he should have used Recon Directive before Raihan, right? Because if you hit Water or Escape Rope off of Recon Directive, then you Raihan for the other piece. So this was just kind of a classic missequence here. From JD. JD needed to, I would say, first use Tatsugiri to thin the deck, then use Recon Directive to try and find one of the pieces you're looking for, then use Raihan. But I think JD thought he had it, and that's why he rushed through the play. Finds Rose Tower. What, maybe a Floatstone here? So this is getting very close. I mean, if Hunter can find another HP boosting tool, I think it's just Luxurious Cape and Fury Belt, though. Rose Tower will remove that. JD definitely needs to not play this rope. Like, do not play this Escape Rope for sure, right? Like, definitely just hold it, bro. Hold it, hold it, hold it. You could still win. Just hold it. If JD plays this rope, that'd be a huge throw. Definitely just hold and pass. Yep, and that's exactly what JD is going to do. So let's see, what does Hunter have? Now, Hunter has Lusamine. It's a really interesting situation from Hunter. Hunter, I think, needs to barrier attack this turn. Right? JD literally used Raihan and got a card that he did not play. So it's tough. I do not think that you can afford to... If that's an Iono, then you certainly rip that. And I think it is. Oh, yeah. Wow. Off the Rose Tower, found Iono. And now Hunter needs to find an energy. Doesn't find the energy, but could retreat. No, you probably don't want to retreat into Boulder and take this knockout, right? So just going to barrier attack. I think that that's the correct play there. But you do give JD this opportunity to now use Tatsugiri and Recon Directive again, right? And you've got Rose Tower. The letter could get JD a fighting for the... things are really starting to get out of hand because now JD is going to have multiple attackers built up. Finds Crispin. Crispin should be the win because you could just get 2 energy onto the Raging Bolts, and there you go. Retreat, hit the Malamar, and that is GG's right there. JD able to clutch this one out. Very close game. Very, very close game. Really came down to the wire there at the end. I felt like it was some solid play from both players. Definitely some good plays there. Only real questionable line, I think, was JD's decision to gust the Trubbish instead of the Cresselia earlier on. And then I think when JD was rushing a little bit at the end, thought he had the win, realized he didn't. Obviously should have sequenced that a little bit differently with the recon directive and the Tatsugiri with the Raihan. But Hunter had like a real dry spell there in the middle of the game, was having a hard time finding his supporters, and JD was certainly able to capitalize on that in the middle of the game, and was able to ride that, prize lead to an eventual win. Hunter was on the back foot starting very early on, especially since JD had that quick Garchomp attack, right? So the Garchomp really helped pave the way for victory. We got to see the consistency of Gabite's Dragon Call ability, just very powerful for this deck to have as well. JD will advance to 1-0 with his Dragon deck. Hunter played solid. GG's. 19 players in the house tonight. Love to see a great turnouts for Gym Leader Challenge League at Full Grip Games. 19 players competing for a spot on the badge board. Speaking of the badge board, folks, let us take a look at the Full Grip Games Gym Leader Challenge badge board hosted by Mr. Morse. Benjamin Morse, morsemakes.com. Great resource for the Gym Leader Challenge community. Great resource for our Full Grip Games GLC players as well. Absolutely love it. So huge props to Ben Morse for keeping this up to date for all the GLC players in our area. It is also just a wonderful reference for anybody who is into Gym Leader Challenge format. So the way that this works is every week at our Gym Leader Challenge League, there's a winner. Inevitably, somebody wins every Thursday. And when you win during the season starts and ends in July. So the season lasts an entire year. So when you win throughout the season, you get a badge. And you get a badge that coincides with the type of deck you played. Since Gym Leader Challenge is a monotype format, your deck can only have one type of Pokemon in it. So we see Alex Carpenter is the current badge leader with Lightning, Grass, and Fighting, but John Patterson hot on his tail with Psychic and Water. John Patterson just narrowly got the dub last week with his Water deck over Craig. I think Craig lost in the final round. Craig was the undefeated player. John was the X1 player, and John took down Craig in the final round to end up taking the win. So congrats to John on the win last week. Now, throughout the season, you're not allowed to earn duplicate badges. So if you win 4 weeks in a row with Water, it's only one badge. You don't get 4 Water badges. It's not how it works. The goal of the badge system is to try and encourage players to perfect as many different decks and strategies as they can. So the biggest flex at Full Grip Games Gym Leader Challenge League is to have the most winningest badge card. And for the last 2 seasons, that has been Mr. Alex Carpenter. Alex Carpenter won the 2025 season with 8 badges. out of 10 potential badges that you can earn. I guess technically 11 if you win with Fairy, but nobody's ever won with Fairy. Fairy is not a real type. I wish people would stop talking about it, but inevitably people do end up saying, what about Fairy? And yes, Fairy is legal, just forgotten about, okay? Legal but forgotten. I'm not going to make it illegal. That just seems, let the Fairy players have their fun, right? If they want to play Fairy Mirrors all day, like knock yourself. Who am I to stop Fairy players from playing Fairy Mirrors, right? Who am I to stop them from doing that? All right, and then Season 1 badge board. Is there a Season 1 badge board? I don't know. Maybe, let's see, 2023, 2024 badge board. Here we go. Yep. I actually got to play this season because this season I was not producing events, so that was fun. I was the first player to get to 7 badges, but I could not, for the life of me, get the 8th badge, and both Ben and Alex were able to get 8 badges, so I got to 7 first and then stalled out. Fighting Fire and Dragon. That was back before Raging Bolt was in the Dragon pool, and it wasn't the same deck. But, yeah, Ben Morse, back before Crispin, too, I think. But, yeah, Ben and Alex got to play off in a finals there, and Alex won that one, too. So, Alex is the 2-time badge leader for the 2023 and 2024 seasons, and now is leading, or for the 2024 and 2025 seasons, and now is leading the charge in the 2026 season as well. Which is crazy. I mean, 3 badges in. So certainly making a case for himself as one of the GLC GOATs. However, Alex Carpenter still has yet to top 8 one of our Gym Leader Challenge cash events here at Full Grip Games, which, of course, we are going to be hosting November 22nd and November 23rd. The Phantasmal Flames GLC 3K happening on November 23rd, Sunday, November 23rd, and Saturday, November 22nd. The standard events. So, huge doubleheader coming up in November. Mark your calendars, folks. You can tune in here on Twitch or YouTube, or you can show up in person and play and maybe even win. And maybe even get featured on stream. And maybe even get an interview from one of our field reporters. How fun would that be? Just imagine how fun. There's so much to do here in beautiful Akron, Ohio. Like, visit the Green Dragon Inn. The Green Dragon Inn is a business also owned by Full Grip Games. It is actually right over there. It's a huge board game bar and cafe, medieval themed. It is a wonderful, magical place, folks. And visiting the shop at Full Grip Games, you get to visit the Green Dragon Inn. You get to visit our candy store. You get to visit our board game store. I mean, it's just basically it's just a huge nerd empire. It's freaking awesome. So anyways, that's my plug. Full Grip Games, 6K doubleheader, Phantasmal Flames, November 22nd, 23rd. Definitely make sure to check that out. But badge leaderboard, let's check that out too. Talk about that for a second. Jesse Parker has top 8'd 3 Full Grip 3Ks. That's true. Jesse Parker has top 8'd 3 of them. Top 8'd 2 with water, like back during like the early GLC days, like 2022. Yeah, the 2022 year, back before I switched studios, and it was water, metal, and psychic, right? They were both. Oh, that's right. There was one with metal. That's right. No, and then Jesse just got second place at the latest one. So Jesse has certainly asserted himself as one of the strongest GLC players in our area, but just honestly one of the strongest trading card game players. I mean, dude got top 4 worlds, also been doing well in our GLC cash events. They're all my lists. Let's go, baby. Let's go. No, I did not co-sign on that freaking Kirim that you guys were playing back in that water list. That was you and John Mustovi. Yeah. But yeah, the top 8 with metal, that was hype. That was back before people thought metal was good. Like, people thought metal was really bad back then. Yeah. The water was you and John Mustovi, because you guys were on that Kirin with the fire energy, and I thought that was like totally crazy. But gotta give it to you. Did get a top 8 there. Yeah, the Melmetal and the Copper Rush. God, that was such a fun list, wasn't it? All right, here's Craig's metal list. I've been meaning to take a look at this. Anybody else here got all their Gym Leader Challenge decks in total disarray? I do. It's not something I'm proud of, folks, okay? But, like, it just happens. It happens so fast. All of a sudden, one day you'll have 10 beautifully constructed, fully complete Gym Leader Challenge decks, and then the next day, they'll all be missing 5 cards. I don't know how it happens, folks. I really don't. But my GLC deck collection is back. And before the Mega Evolution cash event, all my GLC decks were in order. Since then, I don't know. They're all missing 5 cards. So it is, and then like once the deck is missing 5 cards, there's no easy fix. You have to lay the entire deck out, and you need to sit there and be like, all right, what are we missing? Because of course I didn't leave myself any notes. And the reason I didn't leave myself any notes is because I'm like, this deck's trash. We need to completely redo it. CMT's got 71 decks to keep track of. God, that's so sick. That's so beast. Right now, I'm like, I need to completely change my darkness deck, right? Because Toxtricity's coming out. And Grimsley's coming out. So I need to completely change my darkness. Darkness, like the Baltimore Ravens. Fire everybody, bro. Just fire everybody. All right? Everybody involved, you have to earn your spot back. Okay? Just like the Ravens, bro. Fire everybody. I'm scorched earth with the darkness deck. We got to completely switch it up. I do think that the Grimsley stuff is fun. In the games that I was playing with it, the Grimsley stuff is not like very consistent. So almost part of me just wants to be like, oh, you just play Grimsley and like a bunch of powerful evolving guys, right? But then like your deck is naturally inconsistent because you got like a bunch of evolving guys in your deck, right? Obviously, you could play cards. There's cards like Switching Cups that you can play. I like Switching Cups. At the worst, Switching Cups is still like a draw card. So like I don't hate playing Switching Cups with Grimsley. For reference, the Grimsley's move. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose a darkness Pokemon you find there. Put it on your bench. So, yeah, Grimsley. That card is good. Toxtricity. That card is good. For sure. That's just a good card. Search your deck for darkness energy attached to one of your bench Pokemon. Yeah, that's a good card. For sure. It's a good card. Yep. Crocodile. So, like, the thing about Crocodile is that this guy revenges for 220 for 1 dark. Like, that's the thing. So, like, if you're playing, part of me is like, well, if you're playing the freaking Grimsley, right? Like, obviously, Sinister Surge is the name of the ability. Okay, that's cool. Sinister Surge. I like that. Obviously, the thing about Grimsley is like you really only want to play it if you're going to hit something with a high power level. And like the most high power level card that you're going to like that you're dying to hit is this Tyranitar, right? Because this Tyranitar honestly is just one of the strongest darkness Pokemon. This darkness would be on top of the world if Pupitar and Larvitar were darkness type, right? Because this card, the power level of this thing's insane. 190 hit points, stage 2 Pokemon, item locks, 150 damage for 2 energy, discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. I mean, it's just nuts. It's nuts. It's very good. It's a very good card. Yeah, this thing is crazy, bro. This thing, and it's weak to grass, not fighting. Great. It's crazy. This thing's crazy. So, like, obviously, you're somewhat incentivized. Academy at night. Well, like, the best card to set it up is Switching Cups. Yeah. Switch a card from your hand with the top card of your deck. Because it does... Academy at night is -1 card from your hand. You just put a card from your hand on top of your deck. But Switching Cups, you actually get a card in return. So this is the best card, for sure, for stacking your deck. You probably want to play, like, Switching Cups and Academy at night just to, like, increase the odds that you'll find one of them, right? You could do something crazy like, I'm going to Cypher Maniac, right? Like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Cypher Maniac, and I'm going to stack Grimsley, and then Tyranitar, and then... Yeah, Max Revive is obviously another one. And then you can play Max Revive with, like, Battle Compressor, right? Max Revive just puts a Pokemon from your discard pile on top of your deck. However, you have to get it in your discard pile first. So, like, Max Revive is not a bad card. It's like Max Revive and Switching Cups. Academy at Night is a bad card. Like, it's just not good, really. It doesn't, like, do anything. Max Revive, you could hypothetically use Max Revive even if you're not using it to stack Tyranitar for Grimsley, right? Like, you could just use it to recover a Pokemon and then use Liepard to, like, trade into it. So Max Revive is, like, a valuable card regardless. It's not, like, the best recovery card, but in a pinch, it works as one, right? And then Switching Cups is also just a draw card. So, like, those are kind of the 2 cards that interest me the most with the Grimsley. But honestly, Darkness, it just hasn't been getting the same buffs that the other types have been getting lately. Toxtricity is certainly a help. Grimsley is certainly a help. But, like, you really want a Darkness, Larvitar, and Pupitar, and you just don't have it. So you're kind of just sitting around. You're just in the Darkness waiting room, just waiting for, waiting for the next big Darkness buff, right? Because Toxtricity is, like, a huge help, but really, what good is Toxtricity if you're not juicing up anything completely broken? I mean, obviously, Guzzlord's, like, all right. But even Guzzlord has started to lose a little bit of its luster lately because there's no twin or double colorless energy. Thank you, Charizard, for that sub in the 55 months. Appreciate it. I'm glad you liked the Milwaukee vlog. Yo, thank you. Round number 2 is getting started. Let's go. Looks like we have got Jack Hooper versus Cam Armstrong. Let's go. We've got Cam on the left, Jack on the right. Apparently most of the Gym Leader Challenge regulars tonight are on Garbodor. And we've got ourselves a psychic mirror, folks. Very fun. Looks like Cam, just kind of a simple start. Inkay, Mewtwo. Played Hisuian Heavy Ball. Jack has got a very nice opener with the Celebrations Mew. Looks like Natalie sent me the breakdown tonight. We've got a grass, 2 grass in the field. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 psychic. We've got 1, 2, 3 fighting. For dragon, we've got 2. Alec Reiner on metal. Couple colorless players out there. Ben Morse, the lone soldier on water tonight. And yeah, we've got a metal out there too. Alec Reiner playing metal. Yep. Nice little meta spread. Got a question in the chat. Now that I've played in the format with the new 3 prizers, has my feelings on them changed any? Not. I think the 3 prizers can create some interesting games, and I certainly had a lot of interesting games against Jesse playing my Mega Absol deck. I think part of what makes Mega Absol so interesting is that it doesn't one-hit KO things, while not usually getting one-hit KO'd in return, but it can get one-hit KO'd. I do think that it's interesting, right? The Megas, they are powerful. They come at a very steep cost. I actually don't think the format's in like a bad spot right now, though I do think that Monkey Dory in standard format is like extremely annoying and somewhat oppressive. Like, I will be relieved when Monkey Dory is gone, but I wouldn't want to. But I think like the Monkey Dory format is like, I'm not mad that we're here in Monkey Dory format, right? I'm not mad that we're here in Monkey Dory format, but I'm also going to be happy once we're out of Monkey Dory format, if that makes any sense. My favorite thing about Standard is that nothing lasts forever. That's the best part about Standard, is even the most annoying crap you've ever seen, it's going to be gone in a couple years. So, like, whatever, dude. Like, the world keeps spinning. It is what it is. The only constant is change. So yeah. That's kind of how I feel about it. I think the game's fine. Decks like Golden Go and Saraledge make me really not want to play 3 prize Pokemon. But yeah, also, like, you know, evolving Pokemon kind of cringe. So like, why not? Let's just play a basic 3 prizer. Like, why don't we just do that? And I'm not gonna lie. Now that I've started playing more Absol based decks, it's just like, let's just keep doing that, man. Like, let's just keep powering up this gigantic, bloated, yeah, like, whatever, man. Sure, let's just do that. But again, I wouldn't want my format to be stuck like that forever, though, right? And that's the thing, is like, so long as things keep changing, Standard is always going to be fine. And that's the thing, Standard always will change. So even if something totally sucks in Standard, it's going to change. So it is going to change drastically. And sometimes it doesn't even take very long for it to do that. So in that way, it's like, you know, when you're playing Standard, you're just along for the ride, you know? Just is what it is. Just let the game designers take you for a ride, and you're just going to do all the different stuff, whatever it is that they want you doing any given month or year. That's just what you're doing. And this, last couple years, it's monkey business. That's just what we're doing. We're doing monkey dory stuff. We're doing Gardevoir stuff. That's just what standard is. If you want to evolve your Pokemon a lot, there's always Gym Leader Challenge. But even Gym Leader Challenge has been less evolving lately. They've been buffing those. They've been buffing the basics like crazy. So really, what Gym Leader Challenge needs is more absolutely powerful Stage 2 Pokemon. Like more Pokemon on the power level of Tyranitar. And I don't think that the game designers have been appropriately buffing the Stage 2 Pokemon to keep up with the basic Pokemon lately. So that's something that needs to occur for sure. Yeah, Standard does have a lot of evolving Pokemon, right? It's true. I've been saying this for a long time, but yeah, in order for the Stage 2 single prize Pokemon to keep up with everything else, they should all have about 190 to 230 hit points. The single prize Stage 2 Pokemon, the bare minimum should be 180. That should be the lowest amount of HP. 180 HP should be the 140 HP Stage 2s you see. They should be 180. And then the highest HP Stage 2s you see, those should be your 120 or your 220s. They should all they should have similar amount of HP to what Wailord has, honestly. So, yeah, it's just because they need to be worth putting into play is the thing. The Stage 2 Pokemon, they basically need to be able to survive a hit. Imagine if just any decent basic attacker can just wipe out a Stage 2 Pokemon in one hit. That's kind of crazy, right? That's not even the case in Standard. In Standard format, your Miraidons and your Pokemon like that are not very easily knocking out Stage 2 Pokemon. You do have your Raging Bolt. That's a little bit different, kind of the exception, right? I did hear that Pocket released a fire patch, yeah. That's pretty cool. All right, Jack Hooper getting in there with Articuno. Galarian Articuno. There we go. Psy Laser. Gonna knock out Inkay. And then Cam's got a Judge. Set both players to 4 cards. Jack Hooper has been setting up his board much more in a much more stable fashion than Cam this game. Cam got a little bit of a slow start, unfortunately. Doesn't have a whole lot to speak of off of this Judge. Does have a Nest Ball, can go get or not Nest Ball, a Fog Crystal. Could use Fog Crystal to go get Natu, and then does have Xatu in hand. Yo, what's up? Trust your pilot with a rate of 49. Appreciate you. Trust your pilot. Is Cam playing that as a mysterious treasure? I'm just checking. Did Cam... Hold on. I want to call down real quick. Cameron, I think you just discarded with the Fog Crystal. Fog Crystal, you don't have to discard with Fog Crystal. It's just go get a basic Psychic Pokemon or Energy. Yeah, you're good. Okay. Solved. Let's go. Yo, thank you, Trust Your Pilot. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying your dose of Mega Gengar EX, Mega Diancie EX, and Toxtricity over in the land that is the Pokemon trading card game live. I hope that you are all enjoying it. Yeah, so Cam just has to go get Natu and pass. Oh, yeah, I did hear that Mega Gengar is unfortunately broken, which means that it's stacked. So if you get multiple Mega Gengar into play, they take 0 prizes. Yeah, that's not how it's supposed to work. Sad. And an N. Looks like N maybe from Jack. Cam did have an energy in hand. Could have put the energy down on the boulder. I know kind of what happened with Cam this past turn was that they thought they had to discard that energy with Fog Crystal, and then they didn't want to attach the only energy in their hand because they were going to evolve into Xatu and then use that psychic energy in hand to draw. So I think there was like a little bit of confusion there. Cam's got a much stronger hand now, though, off that N. Teammates, Nihilego, Floatstone. Would have been in a much stronger place if they did get that energy drop, but unfortunately did not. Now Jack having to accelerate even more energy into play to draw cards. It's got Xatu, Clairvoyant Sense to itself. Could see Cam go in with an item lock. Could be something. As Frillish hitting the board, I think probably stronger than item lock would be to go in with Nihilego and Poison and Confuse this. But then we do see that Jack's actually got Birdkeeper in hand, so. Yeah, going to go Psychic Energy onto Frillish and just kind of pass. Or not pass, but use the Frillish to poke for 20. Item lock. Jack does have a Darkness in hand. Not going to be able to use that to power up the Articuno. Could have been a little bit greedy going for the Clairvoyant Sense onto the Xatu last turn. I mean, not totally necessary, right? And then does actually end up missing this Psychic Energy. Hoop does have Fog Crystal in hand, but can't play it because of Oceanic Gloom. So yeah, no items from Jack this turn. And, I mean, what can Jack do, right? Like, you've got a Dark and a Psychic on the benched Articuno. Can't use that. I mean, you could go up with Mimikyu and item lock Cam back. I mean, I guess, right? Like, very odd play. But, I mean, not the worst thing. Yeah, and here we go. That is the play we're going to see. Mimikyu to copycat Oceanic Gloom, and how about some item lock right back? But this is fine for Cam because Cam does have energy in hand. So Cam doesn't really care. I think if you're Cam, you just kind of put the... I would put the mystery energy onto like the boulder. I think that's just something you want there. Yeah, just put it on the boulder for sure, right? That's your guy. You got to have a guy. Got to have a guy that's starting to get ready. I understand Cam's hesitation to commit it, but like, there's more energy in the deck. The energy will come off the top. You're gonna that, or you can teammates for it eventually. Like, you're gonna want to put that energy there. There we go, Cam. Very good. All right, and Oceanic Gloom. 20 more damage and more item lock. So now Jack It's got Arven. It's not a very good card right now, considering the item lock situation. Probably just going to be an Iono, right? As Jack does not have the energy needed to attack with Galarian Articuno. Iono could help Jack to dig for that psychic energy. And now we've got ourselves a much more even game. Nope, just going to be another copycat Oceanic Gloom right back. And Cam finds Marnie, and I think Cam will not hesitate to let this Marnie rip. I mean, Cam just wants to find more stuff, find more energy. So 100% agree with that play there from Cam. And that's why I was so intent on Cam like getting that energy down last turn, because like I said, like your deck is filled with good cards, right? So you got to just trust the deck a little bit. I would like to see... That is not where that goes, Cam. There we go. Very good. All right, so we've got ourselves Xatu now. Clairvoyant Sense. Can accelerate to the boulder. Draw 2. Can't play any items, but much stronger looking hand now. Guzma available for next turn. Tulip, not going to be relevant this turn, but still a good card to have in hand. But now Jack has got Marnie, right? So it looks like it's going to be a back-to-back Marnie situation, and the wheel keeps on spinning. This time, Cam will get 4 cards, and these 4 cards are much worse than the previous 5. And Jack gets 5. Artisan will bop the Parallel out of play. Allow Jack to go search for basic Pokemon. Jack does find a Psychic Energy, which he can attach to Galarian Articuno if he wants to go in with the Galarian Articuno, take a knockout this turn. Galarian Articuno knocking out the Xatu would be a pretty strong play, I think. Yeah, this is a tough one for sure for Cam. But at a certain point, you just got to trust the deck, right? Top of the deck. It's going to be that 5th card. 4 cards, not a lot of cards to work. That 5th card. Fifth card. You got to believe that 5th card going to be it. Now we're going to see, is Jack going to break the item lock or just go for it again? Looks like just go for it again. That actually gives Cam another turn. So, I mean, Jack doesn't know that Cam's hand stinks, right? And this is actually huge because Cam has Fighting Fury belts for the Frillish. So any sort of like... I think Jack was thinking that he was going to win this item lock war between the Mimikyu and the Frillish because Frillish went to 60 damage, only has 20 hit points left. That's 1 more Oceanic Gloom. And Mimikyu had 30 hit points left. But with the Fighting Fury belts, the Frillish will do 30 damage with Oceanic Gloom and take the knockout. And Cam ties it up. And 1-to-1 prize. Yeah, so that's a big play there from Cam. And really, that comes down to, you know, Jack did decide not to retreat and attack with Galarian Articuno there. And maybe, you know, I mean, it's hard to see how that line would have ended up working out, but the Mimikyu line, Frillish ended up coming out on top there. Yeah, that was a big play there from Cam. Item lock still in play, so Mew from Celebrations can use the Mysterious Tail, grab an item, but cannot play it. And that extra Psychic Energy on the Xatu is starting to feel pretty bad. Now, Jack does have Iono and I think Guzma in hand. You do go Mystery Energy to the Articuno. It is tough, and it looks like Jack gonna hold the Mystery Energy for later. I did like to see the Mysterious Tail there before the Iono. That's good. You're item locked, so you want to thin those items out. Darkness Energy can go to the Monkey Dory, sure, right? And now we actually are in a situation where anytime Cam uses Oceanic Gloom now, that damage can actually get kicked right back over to Cam's side of the board. So this is interesting. I see Jack has got a Tulip in hand, which will be very good to recover some of those Psychic Energy. Oh no, I thought Jack used. Never mind. Okay, I would have liked to see Jack use the. Would like to see Jack use this before the Iono. I thought Jack did, so that's my fault. But yeah, would have liked to see that before the Iono to increase the odds of you finding good cards off the Iono. And now, Jack's already used Attachment for turn. Cannot use Fog Crystal to go get a Psychic Energy, but does have Tulip in hand for next turn, so if this hand does not get disrupted, it's just going to be a pass. And yeah, now with the Monkey Dory powered up, you've got Cam really has to think about, if they want to continue tossing those damage counters over to Jack's side of the board. Cam is finally able to play items thanks to the item lock being broken. Mimikyu got knocked out. So Evolution Incense will go get Garbodor. And then we see Lusamine and Tulip. So probably just going to be a Lusamine to go get Supporter in a Stadium. Yep. Parallel City back online. Can bump. Yeah, I mean, that is a tough Parallel City, right? Because it's got to be the Inkay. And then it looks like Cam is going to fearlessly charge forth with the Frillish, and I respect that. Cam does have teammates in hand, so it's like, if Jack does eventually use Monkey Dory to KO the Frillish, it's not like the worst thing in the world. I think that is fine. All right, so Tulip is going to be the play this turn. Can recover up to 4 in any combination of Psychic Pokemon and basic Psychic Energy from the discard pile. And yeah, going to be 3 basic Psychic and a Mimikyu. I think that's about as good as you could hope for from Jack's side. I mean, he has been energy dry, energy starved these last few turns. Now finally has some Psychic Energy to work with. Clairvoyant Sense will accelerate that Psychic Energy to the bench. Draw 2. And I think just short of a knockout on this Frillish. It'll have 10 hit points left, with the 30 damage getting moved to it because it's got 80 plus 40, so it's 120 hit points. It's at 110 now. And yeah, things are starting to get kind of hectic. That Garbodor going down with the Psy Laser from Galarian Articuno. That is a tough loss there for Cam. I'm sure Cam would have loved to get a tool on the Garbodor to shut off those abilities before Jack was able to use his abilities to take the knockouts. And now it is tough, right? Like teammates, this Frillish is kind of here now, is the thing. And if you poke with the Frillish, you are essentially knocking the Frillish out. And I think that that's like kind of fine, right? I do like Cam's decision to Marnie all of those Psychic Energy at the bottom of the deck. I like that a lot. And then just item lock again. I think I'm okay with this, right? Because Cam doesn't have a great way to move this Frillish. So I think I'm all right with it. You just item lock one more time. And then you pounce next turn, right? It's certainly very interesting. Yep, here's the 20. I like this play from Cam. Good play, heads up. I like it, the 30 damage. Jack probably ends up using this to knock out the Frillish, right? Yeah, and that's exactly what we see here. So Jack does use that to knock out Frillish, and that does give Jack a 2-prize lead right now, but Jack is still item locked, so like not going to be able to do anything meaningful. Could play Hex, but Cam will certainly be able to match hand sizes and take a knockout with Boulder, I think. See, it's 5 from Jack. So yeah, Cam's got definitely one playable card. Raihan kind of just gets an extra energy into play. I like Raihan as the support of this turn for sure. And then you just have to get a playable card and play it. So yeah, that is good. You got to choose the energy to attach first if you're using Raihan. So yeah, there we go. On to Mimikyu, like it. I think I would have preferred to see the energy go to Necrozma instead, potentially. But, you know, Mimikyu's fine. I feel like it's not quite time for Luxurious Cape yet. Kind of want to save that for the very end. Getting an extra energy drop is like totally fine. I mean, you could put the counter energy down. Getting an additional energy for the next turn, I think, is good. Gives you some draw with Xatu as well. And you really like that. Mystery energy. Yeah, if you just attach the mystery to like, or not the mystery, the horror psychic energy. Getting a card like N could be very good. Versus Seeker is also really good if you want to like chain Raihan. You know, getting a big hand disruptor. I mean, at this point, like, Cam's board is looking stronger than Jack's, right? So, like, Cam's behind 2 prizes, but has more on board now. It's going to be a basic Psychic from Cam, and I don't hate that because you could just attach the counter energy from hand to Necrozma, which is where I would want to see it. And then save everything else in hand to match hand sizes. U-turn board to Mimikyu, that feels like a little bit of a waste, but this does give Cam, I think, maybe more options next turn with the counter energy and the Psychic in hand. But still, with the Raihan accelerating the Psychic from the discard pile, I think I would prefer to see... You really just want to get those double attachments, right? On the turns that you play Raihan, it feels like a waste to only get one energy down, especially when you have others in your hand. So would have certainly liked to see that an energy go down there. Now, Jack using the Mysterious Tail. Mysterious Tail can only get items. We see a lot of trainer cards there, but supporters and stadiums, the only item is Night Stretcher. Night Stretcher's not bad, as it can go get you an energy from the discard pile or a Pokemon. But Jack needs a lot here, right? Because, I mean, Jack's got no attacker in play. There's Monkey Dory. Monkey Dory could Mind Bend. There's Giratina, of course, I suppose. The Giratina can pop itself out of the discard pile. You try to get swinging with that Tina. Can use the Tina to Shadow Impact. If you find Dimension Valley, Giratina can attack this turn. Or if you find Raihan or Versus Seeker for Raihan or something. So Giratina brings itself out of the discard pile with the Distortion Door ability. And then you've got Xatu, and it looks like it is going to be a Mind Bend angle this turn. And it actually finds the Raihan. So if Jack had used... And again, I think that's like a little bit of a misalignment there from Jack. I think that you should default to using Xatu on the Tina, because if you use Xatu on Tina and then miss the attack with Giratina, then you could always decide to Night Stretcher for the Psychic Energy and attach that to Monkey Dory to then, kind of like your backup plan could have been to Mind Bend. But by going Raihan to Monkey Dory, you take the Tina play kind of off the table. Unless, I guess, he did rip Raihan, so he could go get D-Valley and actually fix it, right? You go get Dimension Valley, put it into play, then you can Night Stretcher for the Psychic, attach it to Tina, and then actually go that route. But looks like Jack is actually going to go for Field Blower off of Raihan. So curious about that. I think Dimension Valley kind of solves whatever, Dimension Valley kind of solves what Jack wants out of this Field Blower, which is essentially to remove the parallel. And would have allowed Jack to attack with Giratina. Though it is, I guess Jack could take a prize, right? Because I think Jack might have also had Escape Rope in hand, right? So you could go Escape Rope, Shadow Impact. You're guaranteed to take a prize. You put damage counters on your own bench Pokemon, right? Yeah. So then you can Monkey Dory those. It's interesting board position we have now. And it looks like Monkey Dory going to be using Mind Bend to confuse the Iron Boulder. And the Mystery Energy on the Boulder does give it 2 less retreat. So not free retreat, but does make it much more nimble. Capable of pivoting out of the active spots. And then with Xatu and the counter energy, it is possible for Cam to get that Necrozma powered up in just a single turn. Yeah, go Clairvoyant Sense. Probably onto the Necrozma. Yep. And also, this does eliminate the Monkey Dory from play too. So this is really big. I still think it's not time to put the Luxurious Cape into play. You just hold that. No need to put it down. Yeah, go counter to the Necrozma. I really like this line from Cam. It's just good. Ooh, with the Air Balloon. That is easy breezy. Free retreat. -2 from the Mystery Energy. -2 from the Air Balloon. Now Necrozma coming up. Can use Special Laser. I think this is a bad idea. The Necrozma is weak to Psychic, man. Oh, no, Cam. No. Now, back in the day, Psychic Pokemon used to be weak to Psychic. They're pretty much none of them are weak to Psychic anymore, so it's like a very often overlooked part of the Necrozma. This is pretty much the worst place that this Luxurious Cape could possibly be. However, there is still time for Cam to realize their mistake and fix it. This is how Cam could still fix the situation, all right? This is what you got to do. So Cam's got Shopping Center in hand. Put the Shopping Center into play and then pick the Luxurious Cape back up. this is how Cam could still win. I'm sure Cam will not ever miss this psychic weakness ever again. Take the luxurious cape off, Cam. Take it off. All right. And a special laser from Cam. Take it down to a tie game. But all Jack needs to do is attack with Giratina. And I don't think that Cam knows this, but this Necrozma is weak to Psychic. So a Giratina attack will knock it out, as Shadow Impact will be dealing 260 damage and bring Jack down to just one prize remaining. So as long as, I mean, if Cam's got like N or Iono available, Cam could still pull out a win. But this certainly is making the situation a lot more difficult. I think if Cam was trading just a single prize Necrozma here, then, you know, Jack goes to 2 prizes. Cam can throw down Nihilego and copy an attack for just a single energy at the 2 prize mark while powering up like Mewtwo. Then you save the luxurious cape for Mewtwo at the very end while using N or Iono. That's exactly how you win in this situation. The luxurious cape is just being placed at like at the wrong time, unfortunately. All right, and that is probably going to be a game-losing error from Cam, I would say, who had piloted this comeback quite well up until this crucial moment. Escape rope from Jack. I did not see this coming. Jack doesn't know that the Necrozma's weak to Psychic either. Holy cow, dude. Holy... Oh my God. Nobody knows. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Nobody knows. I'm losing it. I can't believe it. Read the card. Oh, we got Verse Seeker for Raihan. Oh my gosh. Now, if Cam goes in with this luxurious Capes Necrozma, Jack will be in a position where he can just win with an attack. I cannot believe this right now. I cannot. All right, looks like Cam was able to use Raihan to go get Iono. Now's your chance, Cam. Now's your chance. Now's your chance. Take the luxurious cape off of the Necrozma. Take it off. No. It looks like time is getting ready to be called here. Town map. Does Jack have an attacker? Here's Gallade. All right, Jack is turn 0. All right. Looks like Jack is table 0. I have told Natalie, who is down there at the table watching, I have told her to tell both players at the table that Necrozma is weak to Psychic as soon as the game is complete, so that then we can get their reactions to that information. All right, here comes Mimikyu. Now, this, if Jack had, Guzma with Mimikyu could have just won, but now Cam not going to be able to finish this in time. Cam is turn 1, and there is no more turns past turn 1. So this is going to end up being a tie, but it's because Jack threw, and that's it. And here's the revelation. All right, you learn something new every day, folks. You learn something new every day, and that is going to end up being a tie. And Cam is like, oh, I got away with one there. Cam actually ended up being very lucky to escape with the tie there after putting the luxurious cape on their Psychic Weak Necrozma in the mirror match. But such a bold play, I think Hoop did not even question it, because, you know, it's like, oh, well, that Necrozma must have 230 hit points, right? Like, why would you why would you ever put a luxurious cape on a guy that's weak to Psychic, right? Like, just crazy. But really, I mean, they don't make Psychic Pokemon weak to Psychic anymore. Over the years, the Pokemon Company has changed many weaknesses. For sure. There's a lot of Psychic Pokemon that are weak to Metal now, too, because they kind of are embodying their Fairy type. And then you've got Darkness Pokemon, kind of formerly all weak to fighting. Many of them are weak to grass now. I feel like it's been forever since I've seen a water Pokemon that's weak to grass. Yeah, water Pokemon are like now exclusively weak to lightning. Fire has always been weak to water. Water is now exclusively weak to lightning, or metal if it's embodying its ice type. Grass has always been weak to fire. There are like very few. I think there's like Tropius, I think, is weak to lightning. You know, Pokemon does love to give the random flying Pokemon lightning weakness, so gotta respect that. You know, some dark flying Pokemon are weak to lightning. We got Mr. Ben Morse. And look at that swag. Look at that. Look, it just dripped out of his freaking gourd right there, dude. This is the embodiment of male perfection right here. Ben Morse. I'm saying, dude. Looks like Ben Morse playing Palatoad today, which is the deck that John used to win just last week against Nate Warren. Nate Warren is from North Carolina and traveled up to Akron, Ohio, just to play in the RSPK tournament this weekend. So, huge shouts to Nate, and is now playing on stream. So, I was going to say, this is definitely the first time I've ever commentated over him. So, that's awesome. Nate is playing Dragon. Ben Morse on Palatoad. So very, very cool. Very excited about the RSPK event this weekend. Going to be a ton of fun. Definitely make sure to tune in on Twitch and YouTube. Check out some of the oldest, most nostalgic cards in action. One of the most beloved formats in the history of the Pokemon TCG. RSPK, Ruby and Sapphire through Power Keepers. Sorry, folks, I need a beverage. It's about beverage o'clock. Do you hear me? Let's go. Yeah, Palatoad, going to be really interesting to see if Nate can maneuver around this Seismitoad. Seismitoad, just a really tough card for dragons to deal with. It's got the ability that makes it so that your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks cost one colorless more. A couple of mulligans there, too. Going to give Ben a little bit of a boosted start to this round number 3. It looks like Ben Morse is playing in the blood red Dragon Shield non-glare matte sleeves. Some of my favorites. The non-glare matte sleeve line from Dragon Shield is my absolute favorite for tournament play. And really just for all the time play. I mean, dude, the non-glare mattes are just a glorious sleeve. I love them. They're my favorites. So, big shouts to Dragon Shield for being a continued sponsor of the channel and for making the best sleeves around. And it looks like we have finally got a starter. Ben Morse going to get a couple of bonus cards to start the game because of the mulligans, and here we go. Round number 3 is underway. We've got Ben Morse on the left with Palatoad versus Nate Warren on the right with Dragons. Nate Warren traveled up from North Carolina to Akron for the weekend to participate in our Ruby and Sapphire through Power Keepers retro event. I am really stoked about that and can't wait to see what players end up bringing. I can't wait to commentate over those games and produce the tournament for you all here on Twitch and YouTube. Should be a great time, so definitely make sure to tune in to that. But it looks like Nate also no stranger to Gym Leader Challenge format. So, Gym Leader Challenge format is what we've got today. Nate piloting his Dragon deck against Ben Morse with Palatoad. Now, this should be an interesting matchup because the Palatoad deck has got this Seismitoad in it with the Quaking Zone ability, which makes it so that as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, attacks used by your opponent's active Pokemon cost a colorless more. This is just a really tough Pokemon for like almost all decks to deal with because it's got 170 hit points, and most decks are designed to like just attack with the correct amount of energy, like the exact correct amount of energy, right? And you build your whole deck with like the idea in mind that you're going to get the exact correct amount of energy on your Pokemon that you need, and really no more, right? Swing and a miss there from Tatsugiri. That is tough. I don't know that Nate has anything else going on. All right, looks like a Marnie. Okay, so not totally dead in the water. We've got a Marnie and a Regidrago. You know, especially for these big basic decks like Dragon that are just kind of not playing any particular energy accelerating engine, right? They're just kind of manually attaching energies one at a time, using cards like Raihan, using cards like Wishful Baton to pass energy back, using cards like Crispin. Right? There's no energy acceleration engine in this Dragon deck. It is just a it's just a deck where you're going to be manually attaching energy. And the Seismitoad, I mean, one of the strongest Stage 2 Pokemon in Gym Leader Challenge right now, because of the way the decks are being played, kind of just min-maxing themselves, right? And just getting just the right amount of energy, just the right amount of resources, all that. And Seismitoad just really stretches those resources to their limits. And with 170 hit points, it's just really tough to knock out. Its Echoed Voice Attack also just puts on a lot of pressure. 120 damage at first, and then will ramp to 220 damage each successive turn that you use it. So 220 damage, I mean, you're going to be knocking out almost everything. Once the Seismitoad gets rolling, it is very difficult to stop. And that's exactly how this Palatoad deck wins games. You've got the Seismitoad is kind of like your left hook, and then Palafin, that's that uppercut right here with the Justice Kick. 210 damage for just 2 energy. I mean, 2 incredibly strong evolution Pokemon. They could do a lot of damage for low output. Really tough hand, though, for Ben off of the Marnie. And Nate actually could potentially go on the offensive. We see the Tag Call in hand, so could just use Tag Call, go get Guzma and Hala. Guzma and Hala could go get Floatstone, Double Dragon energy, right? And then all of a sudden, kind of a slow start, and we're off to the races, right? And there's the Guzma and Hala can go get, we see Nate kind of thumbing the Double Dragon to the top of the deck. You have Tag Call can get Guzma and Hala. You just have to discard the whole rest of this hand. But Regidrago has the Dragon's Horde ability. Oh, Ben Morse did play Hex this last turn. So, no abilities. So, actually, Nate will not be able to use Dragon's Horde. Right? Can't use Tatsugiri either. So, no Tatsugiri, no Dragon's Horde, but that Manaphy will go to the Lost Zone because of the Lost City in play. And if Ben doesn't have anything, I mean, things could start to get hectic very quickly. The Enhanced Hammer is going to just absolutely slow down this party, though. Enhanced Hammer, the Double Dragon, Boss's Orders, the Drudagon, and Basculin is going to gather the crew. Well, Ben does not have a strong-looking hand off of this Marnie, but is going to thin the deck a little bit. Go get a Remoraid, go get a Snorunt, is effectively able to, I mean, with Nate having a 0-card hand after the attack, right? The Enhanced Hammer, I mean, wow, that's like a really good 2-card combo there. I was going to say, it is a very high likelihood that Ben catches Nate off guard with the Enhanced Hammer and the Boss's Orders. But Nate actually able to come in clutch with the perfect 2 cards. TM Turbo Energize and Water Energy. Water Energy onto the active Drudagon is a valid energy attachment to that Pokemon to help launch its other attacks. And then Turbo Energize will get a Lightning and a Fire in the top deck of Octillery. Holy cow. For Ben, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, right? You gather the crew, immediately top deck into Octillery. Octillery is here to save the day now with Abyssal Hands. So things are moving along. And now Ben is not going to have to worry about dead drawing anymore. Palafin gets evolved into play. Ben does have a water energy. Can also use Drizzile. Right? So, like, kind of has to think carefully about how to navigate this. It looks like Ben has prized some pieces of his Palafin line. It could be like Guzma. If you just go get Guzma off the Drizzile, you just Guzma up the Drudagon and take a water energy. I mean, that's pretty good, right? But then, like, maybe it's tough. I do like the Guzma on the Drudagon, right? Or on the Regidrago, excuse me. Because if you Guzma the Regidrago, I mean, you're putting the pressure on Nate saying, like, all right, Nate, you have to Tatsugiri into, like, a very good supporter here. Or else it's lights. I think the Guzma is good. Otherwise, like, where are we going, right? Like, you can even trade your Snow Run. You could go Frostlass to trade into, you know, you're asking the questions. I like that. And you're denying the draw power of Dragon's Horde. And you're lost sitting it. I mean, I think it's the correct play. You will immediately get your Palafin probably lost zoned, right? Because all Nate has to do is find like a Raihan or, you know, something like that. But I mean, might not. It's very possible. Yeah, go for the good Bird Keeper. That's a sissy play for sure. Yeah, it's Guzma time. Yes, I agree with this line 100%. Just go for it. You got Frostlass coming up hot. Like, that's fine. You've also got potential Basculegion can take the knockout. You got two different options to take this knockout. When the Drudagon inevitably comes up. So, I like that move from Ben. It's a good one. Regidrago goes to the Lost Zone now. And Nate has got a 0-card hand. Tatsugiri, I think it's maybe a Silent Lab off the top, has to attract customers. Look, the top 6. What do we find? Any supporter cards there? Faba not going to do it. Is that just Faba? Is just Faba? Ooh, that is not going to help. No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the margin for error is razor thin. By Ben targeting down that Regidrago, it puts Nate in this position where there is an extremely thin margin for error. And now, like, 2 basically unplayable cards in this hand and just has to pass. If Ben can find Inteleon, then you know it's going to be Verseeker Guzma, bring that Drudagon back up and Lost Zone that. And with both the Drudagon and the Regidrago in the Lost Zone, I mean, it's just going to get out of hand very quickly. Wow. I mean, it really comes down to the Enhanced Hammer play from Ben. You could tell how much that Enhanced Hammer, and there's the Evolution Incense. The Enhanced Hammer just completely changed the dynamic of this game. Nate's really fast start just had the brakes slammed on it. And now Ben has an opportunity. You might just like Lost on the Tatsugiri. Honestly, I don't even think it's worth it to go for Verseeker. You just knock out the active. Because the active is the thing that's keeping Nate in the game. And I think that if you put Nate in a situation where he just has to top deck a live card, that's the best case scenario. Yeah, I like Birdkeeper here. I like knocking out the active. The pot helmet on the seismite or the pot helmet on this Palafin, which makes it really difficult to deal with too. It's 180 hit point effective. So yeah, I like the Birdkeeper play here. Just see more cards. It's totally fine. Would like to get an energy drop probably on the Intellion. Because if you get an energy drop on the Intellion, then it can be a valid attacker as well. There's really no reason. I really don't like this energy attachment from Ben. I think it should just 100% be the Intellion every time. Because then the next turn you have the option to attack with either Frostlass or Intellion very easily. Whereas by attaching to Frostlass, you say like that is my backup attacker, right? But if you put the energy on Intellion, you're saying I could attack with Intellion, I could attack with Basculegion, or I could attack with Frostlass next turn. And really just more options is better. The only reason I would say that energy is not going on to the Intellion, okay, I get this. All right, I do get this. So Ben's actually just going to take this opportunity to knock out the Tatsu with the Frostlass, and I think that this is fine. I have to put 4 damage counters on the Frostlass, take the knockout. And the Frostlass does also have the... Let's see, it's just Rescue Stretcher. Oh my gosh, this is so painful, right? Like with Rescue Stretcher doesn't even do anything because the Lost City has been in play the whole time. There is no Pokemon in Nate's discard pile to get because, it's just, there's a Raging Bolt. Okay. Rescue Stretcher for bolts. Not a lot else, though. Faba will remove the energy, I guess, from the active to the Lost Zone as well. There's like a ton of cards in the Lost Zone right now. But it passed back to Ben, and now Ben is just going to get to run away with this one. Frostlass could knock itself out. I really don't think it's worth knocking yourself out. I would like to see Ben, I think, retreat the Frostlass. Or, I mean, like, ideal situation is that Ben finds Switch Raft off of this to heal the Frostlass and switch it to the bench. But, if you don't hit Switch Raft... this is cool. Yeah, I like this. Don't knock out the Frostlass. Just use the Stadium. Get the energy onto, like... you've already attached energy for turn. That's true. So, energy's on the Frostlass. Yeah, switch into Palafin. I like it. Just take the KO with Palafin. Actually goes to the discard pile now and not the Lost Zone. And Nate's just going to scoop it up, and I think that makes sense. That was a tough one for sure. Unfortunate for Nate, but still has a record of 2-1, and on a 5-round night, which is what we have tonight, folks. You could still win with a record of X-1. Our winner last week, John Patterson, won the entire event with a record of 4-1. So Nate still not totally out of it yet, though I'm sure not the stream appearance that he would be hoping for his first time ever playing on stream. Just a little bit of a tough go there after the Enhanced Hammer play from Ben. And then, honestly, it ended up being like the Hex Maniac also. I feel like the Hex Maniac really took the wind out of Nate's sails in that game as well, because Ben was able to play the Hex Maniac on a turn where Nate kind of like needed Dragon's Horde really bad, right? Like really needed it. And eventually had to go, unfortunately had to go to a 0-card hand, right? And then was not able to refill that hand Was not able to use Tatsugiri on that turn either. Was not able to refill the hand with Dragon's Horde. And it was kind of a combination of factors that really just led to the Dragon deck sputtering out. You know, on no fault of Nate's, it just is kind of a series of unfortunate events, if you will. All right, folks. What do we got? Yeah, I was thinking about darkness. Thinking about darkness decks. I was thinking about darkness and GLC. You got the new Toxtricity. You got Grimsley. But, like, is it worth it to play any of your other... Noivern Knockout! The 3-stream watch streak. Yo, let's go. Over on Twitch. Appreciate that. Excuse me. Is it worth it to put any of your... like big evolving guys in there to help try and hit off a Grimsley, right? Well, let's just start brewing a deck then. Just make the entire deck revolve around Grimsley, all in on the gimmick. The entire deck around Grimsley? All right. Let's talk about Darkness and Gym Leader Challenge, right? Yo, how's my boy Espeon Star doing lately? 55,000? Or no. All right, let's look at eBay.com. All right, what do we got on eBay.com? Espeon Star. Sorry, chatters. This is where I got my stocks. This is like me checking my stock market. All right, how's my PSA 8 Espeon Star doing? I mean, yeah, it's basically like a non... It's like the card just doesn't... Espeon Gold Star. The card just doesn't exist. All right, that's fine. It's better that way. Anyways, let's look at Darkness Pokemon. The new Yveltal, all right. It's like he's like a really good standard card, but in Gym Leader Challenge format, I'm like, yeah, he's probably just worth playing. With like a Muscle Band or a Dark Claw, you're using Clutch for 40, Free Retreat, just like a good card. You're probably playing that guy, right? That card's just like too good not to play. CMT says has rule box in the search bar, and you can get all the GLCable cards. I know, but I don't want all like the comments. Like I don't need every little like but yeah, I should learn how to just do it that way. Let's see, tools, deck builder. All right, we got Yveltal, right? Hey, you gotta put Yveltal in the deck. You got to put Grimsley in there. All right, what if Grimsley... Nah, you got to play Grimsley, dude. You got to play Grimsley. You got to play the new Toxtricity. This Toxtricity, I mean, like, what a cool card. The artwork looks great. Toxtricity is a cool Pokemon. Toxel is a cool Pokemon. I mean, just A+ all around, right? Yeah, you got the new Purloin. He's only got 60 hit points, but he's probably just the guy worth playing, right? You could play 70 hit point Purloins. If you're worried about Raging Bolts, right? This is the one you want to play. If you're worried about Raging Bolt, for sure. I know. Hisuian Samurot's cool. Right, there's a lot of cool guys you could put in the deck. All right, let's think. Well, first of all, is this guy worth it? Like, he seems kind of nuts, right? He seems kind of nuts. Is he just not good? Revenging for 220 is crazy, but he is like a stage 2 Pokemon. But revenging for 220 is crazy. All right, you don't even need to revenge for 220, bro. We're not doing that. Yeah, we're not doing it. We're not doing it, folks. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. All right. All right, let's go back to the Darkness Pokemon. No. Flip a coin for each dark Pokemon you haven't played? No. That's crazy, though. Mega Crawdont? What are you talking about, TV boy? Mega Crawdont. Oh, Mega. Okay. There's no Mega Crawdont. You mean this Crawdont? For a dark? No. To me, I'm past the point in my life where I'm pretending like 130 damage is good. I'm past that point. 130 damage is no longer playable. That is, I feel like that's garbage. That's why I won't build a single Psychic deck that's got Giratina from Lost Origin. I'm like, 130 damage just sucks, man. It's like, that's what we're doing. That's a main attack, especially a stage 2 or a stage 1 that does 130. No, I'm beyond. I'm beyond it. Past that point in my life. Now this Zork, you probably got to play that guy, right? God, the problem with Darkness is that all the Pokemon are freaking stage 1s, man. You don't want to play stage 1s. It's a basic format. But then who we hitting? Yo, thanks, Jaeger. For the 68 months. Appreciate it. And then you're like, are we still doing the same old Spiritomb thing? Like, I freaking guess so, right? I have seen there's the, you could do like a Nidoqueen, Nidoking deck. I don't think that's like, I mean, Grimsley certainly makes that strategy a little bit more tenable, right? But the Nidoqueen's weak to fighting. You don't even want that weakness. The Nidoking, obviously, can attack for free. I mean, like, that's incredibly good, right? Yeah, Enthusiastic King. I mean, that's crazy, right? Ignore all energy, 190. But you can't... So, like, you could play... what if you played Rocket's Nidoqueen and Nidoking and regular Nidoqueen? Right. You could play all three. You could play Nidoking, Nidoqueen, and Rocket's Nidoqueen. That's all right. And my problem with playing like the Queendom deck is that all of the you have to have regular Nidoking. I know. But you could use Nidoking to activate Rocket's Nidoqueen. My problem with all of these guys, though, is that their basics in stage 1s all kind of suck. Right? It's like your deck is filled with so much garbage is the thing. Right? The lines, they're not doing a lot for you. Yeah, like this is like okay, but like we're playing. You know, are we really doing that? You would have to make your guys gigantic. The thing about it is, if you're truly like locked into playing like a big stage 2 deck like this, your guys, like I said, the HP, they have to be surviving hits is the thing. They all have to be surviving hits. And I think that they just don't survive enough hits. That's my beef. I've been having this feeling that Galarian Wheezing might have fallen off. This card used to be so good. It's probably still really good. You probably just still have to play this guy. Because, like, what else is Dark doing, right? You probably still have to play that. Like, if nothing else, you could just ascend into a Wheezing and say, like, all right. But the thing is that's just, I feel like it's not as strong as it used to be. It's probably still quite good against, like, water. But even so, I found that item locking water is better than ability locking. I think item locking is like the new ability lock. Item lock, I think, is the strongest thing you can do now. It used to be that ability locking was like pretty much the strongest thing you could do early, but I think that's actually item locking now. Like the format has changed to that. Which is why Frillish is so good. Like I find myself playing the Psychic deck and being like, oh, Frillish is like way better than Wobbuffet. Like a lot better. By like magnitudes better. So I don't know. I'm starting to feel like maybe Galarian Wheezing is kind of fallen off. Does anybody else feel me on that? I do like this guy though. I mean, how cool is he? It's really cool, you know? Not worth it, but dang, he's cool. There has to be a basic Pokemon that item locks for Dark. There is not. You like have to play. It's like you're just still doing the you still got to play like Hoopa. I'm feeling like maybe Weavile is kind of feeling like it's probably getting cut just because it's so bad against fighting. Well, it's because it's so bad against fighting, right? Like you're like, it's weak to fighting. He's got like 90 hit points. It's like, is he helping you win? The water matchup was like the card that it used to be like really kind of, you had to play it for the water matchup. You had to play it for the grass matchup. But now that the meta is kind of more defined, it's like, is it helping you win the Psychic matchup? Like, no, you don't really need it for the Psychic matchup. Is it helping you win the fighting matchup? It's absolutely not helping you win the fighting matchup. So, yeah. Gotta play Liepard. And it's also weird because you've basically got Dark is starting to get to a point where it's like, okay, I've got multiple setup Pokemon. There's too many dudes that evolve here. I know, the new Weavile. You have to Toxtricity to it twice, though. I do like Yveltal with Hoopa is good. Do we just cut the Wheezing entirely? There's too many evolvers, man. There's too much of this crap. I think we just gotta cut somewhere. You gotta just say, yeah, we're not even doing the whole Wheezing thing, bro. Like, we're just not gonna do it. Which is crazy because Wheezing was like my favorite card in the Darkness deck. Like a couple years ago, but I mean. Yeah, I mean, I think it's basically like you were playing. I tried building the Sableye deck, like not Ghoul's version, but I was like working on my own version of Sableye, and honestly, decks just play too many switch outs. It's just not good enough. It doesn't like put enough pressure on resources. It's just. I think that the Spiritomb is cool. I think that these cards kind of have the potential to surprise people at tournaments and stuff. You know, having an ability that just prevents, like, this card is good, right? And it prevents retreat, and then you could just go like counter energy, curse drop, and just like if you have effectively run your opponent out of switch cards, then this card will just win the game, right? Like if you could stall something and then just curse drop over and over again, like it's kind of a crazy card for sure. But King Gambit, it's plus 32 attack. Oh yeah, dude. King Gambit, though? All right, King Gambit, kind of hot. Basic Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage. King Gambit, kind of crazy. I don't hate King Gambit. Listen, Dark sucks so bad that I'm willing to look at that for sure. Yeah, I mean, you're talking a Guzzlord doing 150. That is different. That is very different. You're talking about Hoopa doing 120 base with Claw with Muscle. That's different. You're talking about Spiritomb doing upwards of 200 damage. That's different, right? That's different. I am willing to look at King Gambit, dude. For sure. 100%. And you can evolve into it naturally. You don't have to Grimsley it. Like, okay, we're talking. Okay. King Gambit. Bisharp. What's even the best Bisharp? Ooh, shiny Bisharp. You could play shiny Bisharp and shiny King Gambit. There's got to be a playable Bisharp, right? 120 for 2? I mean, it's playable. That's not the worst attack you've ever read. Retaliate? We could play the shiny dual type Bisharp, dude. You could hit freaking Togekiss for weakness. You didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're definitely playing the dual type one. It's got to be the dual type one. Yeah, 90 damage, fine. You're hitting like 2 types for weakness. Like, that's fine. That's fine. You just do that. That's fine. Bisharp for 90 for 1, you just do that. Like, it's certainly playable, right? Oh, yeah. The reason I like playing, like, if you're going to do Grimsley with King Gambit, you got to play the whole line because you could hit the Bisharp off of it, right? And then still just easily evolve King Gambit into play. So, like, you want to do that. And then you've also got Pawniard. Metal Saucer Indar. All right, now you're talking, dude. Now you're talking. Now you're speaking my language. Shiny, we could go the whole line shiny, dude. Yo, Bag Slash? Let's go. Woo. Yeah, we gonna hit him with the filthy Bag Slash. Not the worst thing I've ever seen, right? It's either that or you're playing the 70 hit point one. You're probably playing the 70 hit point one just because you hate to see a fighting deck coming, right? So like you're probably just gonna play 70 hit point one. Bag Slash Reverse Secret. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, look how nice. The Bisharp line, kind of cool. I'll give it to you, Bisharp lovers. I'll give it to you. There's some cool stuff here. That's it for the evolving Pokemon, though. We are not going to play another evolving Pokemon. That is way too many evolving Pokemon. I will allow you to play one Tyranitar as a treat. But no more evolving. Thank you, C. Colby, for that sub. And the 16 months. All right, I'll also allow you to play the Samurott. Oh, yeah, dude. All right, but no more evolving Pokemon. These Pokemon, they don't evolve. They just get summoned. So that's cool. Well, then you got to play like, some supporter cards. So the thing is, I was talking to the boys downstairs before Gym Leader Challenge League night, and I basically came to the conclusion that, like, dang near every deck should be just playing Guzma and freaking Hala, dude. Every deck. Just every freaking deck, man. Do you realize Guzma and Hala is like, it's like Secret Box for Gym Leader Challenge. It's like Gym Leader Challenge's Secret Box. It's literally like that. It's like it's like an ace spec. It gets you everything. You discard 3 cards for hit, you literally go get anything you want. It's also just so consistent because you can play with Tag Call and the Tag Call engine. Cynthia and Caitlyn too. It's just like such a good core for many decks. So like I'm gonna start with that, and then you can play Arven, right? And then you like don't even feel bad about playing the tools because you're playing like Arven and Guzma and Hala, and you're like, all right, yeah, I've got some tool searching going on, right? And I'm already playing the Muscle Band, and I'm already playing the Dark Claw, and I'm already playing Sableye. Dude, when you start using Disable, your opponent, it's all fun and games until you start using Disable for 60 damage with Sableye. Yeah, it's all fun and games till you've got a Dark Claw. All right, Gym Leader Challenge is definitely eating good with yes. The power level of cards that are being produced now, even the single prize cards, is crazy for sure. Yeah, I want to build a King Gambit deck now. You've got me, darn you, TV boy. You've got me really feeling the King Gambit deck, and I wish it wasn't true, but it is. You got to play Capture Energy. Yep. If you're going to play Goose Hala, you got to play Capture Energy. You also got to play Hiding. You also got to play Artisan. You also got to play TM Turbo Energize. Right, like we're doing TM Turbo Energize just to try and get a turn 1 Guzzlord. Like if you could just get a fast Guzzlord, then like what more do you want, right? Like just do that. So I feel like you're still kind of playing for a. You're still just playing because you got you got Arvin, you got Goose Holly. Like you're just going for it, right? B string, yeah, we're doing all the tricks. It's a Guzzlord deck, okay? It's just a Guzzlord deck, but we've got Spiritomb and Hoopa here. I like that. To me, that's like it's the best thing we could do. I don't like Max Elixir because we play this guy. To me, Max Elixir also like Janine. I'm also not in on Janine. Those cards, they seem inconsistent. Like, the thing is about Janine is it attaches 2 energy. It's like, you don't need all that energy in play. What you need is just to set up your guys. All right, Natalie asked me if I want Ben Morse versus Alex Carpenter here on a 2-1 match. Or wait, do I want Ben Morse versus Alex Carpenter at 3-0, or do I want a 2-1 match? I said, give me the Ben Carpenter match for sure. Got to show Ben, because it could be if Ben wins, then it's Ben 3 rounds in a row. I don't care, dude. Give me the Ben. Give me the Ben then. Let's bend it up. Round number 4 going up now. We've got what you all came here to see. 2 of the heaviest hitters from our Gym Leader Challenge League. Alex Carpenter, 2-time Gym Leader Challenge League champion, 2024 champion, 2025 champion, 2025 Gym Leader Challenge Invitational champion against Ben Morse, Journey Together 1K champion, 2024 League runner-up. Was he 2025 League runner-up? No, he was washed 2025. It's all good, Ben. Ben, he brought it back, though, with that Journey Together dub. That was hot. All right, let's take a look. Get this overlay set up. Round number 4. And here we go. Got Ben Morse on Palatoad. Alex Carpenter also in the blood red non-glare matte sleeves. Let's go. And Alex Carpenter on Psychic Garbodor. This is going to be a good one, folks. This is going to be a good one. Actually, quite excited to see how this matchup plays out. I feel like these are 2 of the stronger decks in the format for sure. 2 very strong players also. Oh, I forgot to update Ben. Ben is 3-0 as well. Thank you for catching that. Round number 4 is getting kicked off now. We have got a battle of the Titans. Alex Carpenter, your 2024 and 2025 Full Grip Games Gym Leader Challenge League champion. Also your first ever Full Grip Games Gym Leader Challenge Invitational champion. The most accomplished Gym Leader Challenge player at our local league here in Akron, Ohio, playing the Psychic Garbodor deck, which he did end up playing to the Mega Evolution $3,000 cash event as well. And Ben Morse on the left, your Journey Together Gym Leader Challenge $1,000 cash tournament champion. He was playing his colorless deck at that event. And today, he is playing Palatoad. It is a water deck featuring, you guessed it, Palafin and Seismitoad. But it does look like Ben is maybe looking at a potential early item lock. Ben is playing Cryogonal, which is a basic Pokemon with 90 hit points. Got a little 1 energy attack. And item locks the opponent, making it so that they cannot play any items. Now Ben going to take a serious look at his deck. Ben is itching for a badge so far this year. Has not earned one yet. So you know he is chomping at the bit to get a badge on that board. Put himself in the badge race. Alex Carpenter sitting pretty with 3 badges already. And is already the badge leader for the 2026 season with those 3 badges. John Patterson, who won last week with his version of this Palatoad deck that Ben is playing now, is at 2 badges. So John Patterson is the next winningest player at our league so far. The season just reset in July, so we're not too far along now. But Ben is looking like he's playing very carefully, very thoughtfully, so that he doesn't make any errors as he pursues his first badge of the year, this 5-round Gym Leader Challenge League night. He knows that he has the potential to do it. He was the 2024 Full Grip Games Gym Leader Challenge League runner-up right behind Alex. They actually tied in the badge race and had to do a conquest playoff, which Alex ended up winning to take the title of league champion. Both of them earned 8 badges in that year. And now, Ben Morse did not win a ton of badges last year. I think he was just like a handful, which is still like a good year. I mean, like, you know, he won some badges, but he wasn't at like the 8 badge spots that he was at in 2024. And Alex went back-to-back 8 badges to win both the 2024 and the 2025 GLC League seasons, and has obviously started off very well this year with 3 badges. So Ben, you know, I think the 1K win for Ben was a very big deal, and you know, really helped him to, I think, really feel good about his play and kind of, and how things were going for him as a player, despite the fact that he didn't, you know, have the most badges that he had, you know, being able to spike a big tournament like that. Now, on the other side of the coin, that's something Alex Carpenter's never been able to do. Alex Carpenter has not been able to finish in the top 8 of any of our major cash Gym Leader Challenge tournaments. So you kind of have 2 players with 2 different accolades, which is one of the reasons why I really love watching Ben and Alex Carpenter play against each other, because they both have big accomplishments at different things. Ben, you know, is also a very competent standard player, as he finished in the top 8 of our Journey Together, standard 3K with Gardevoir. And I think Ben is also a League Cup winner. Like in standard for like randomly, like a lot of our Gym Leader Challenge players are like exclusively Gym Leader Challenge players. But Ben is also like won a League Cup before, you know? Which is not something that everybody can say. I mean, I very vividly remember the first time I ever won a League Cup, right? And it's like kind of when you're in the mix of a, you know, getting into the Pokemon trading card game, like that is a big hump to get over for sure. Getting to that point where, you know, you kind of understand the game well enough, and your deck well enough, and the format well enough to win a League Cup is pretty exciting accomplishment for any aspiring Pokemon TCG player. Let's see. So Alex retreats into Cleffa, uses Grasping Draw, fill his hand to 7. The Arvin there, good supporter for Alex, allowing him to go get the tool to retreat and the Buddy Poffin to go get Cleffa. Alex's board state now seems pretty solid. I mean, not 2 on the bench is good. Can help pump energy into play with the Zot 2 that evolves from it with the Clairvoyant Sensibility. Can also help him to draw cards. But then the big thing to watch out for is the Garbodor, of course, with the Garbotoxin ability. If this Pokemon has a tool card attached to it, all abilities stop working. So a tough card for ability-reliant decks like the Water deck to deal with. Could be a major component of this game. Also, notably, turns off the Seismitoad's Quaking Zone ability, which is one of the more difficult abilities to play around for any deck. It is one of the strongest parts of Ben's deck, is the Quaking Zone Seismitoad. So with Alex having the option to shut that ability off completely by just putting a tool card onto his Garbodor, I mean, that's a really big deal. Looks like Ben is going to go get that Cryogonal onto the bench, so maybe we'll see that Cryogonal start to instate some item lock. I don't think I have Cryogonal downloaded on my computer. How sad is this? So sad. This Cryogonal has been out for a long time. It was printed in Unified Minds. So yeah, this card been around for a while. Started to see a little bit more play lately with how, and this is something that has been kind of like an evolution of Gym Leader Challenge format. I was talking about it a little bit between rounds. As the Pokemon Company has continued to print stronger and stronger items, item lock has just become more powerful, right? I mean, there are just a lot of really good items, and a lot of decks are very item-based. And as time has gone by, item lock has gotten more powerful than it used to be in Gym Leader Challenge format. So you're seeing cards like Cryogonal starting to see more play because item lock is such a powerful thing against so many decks. So many top tier decks. Like you can completely stop the Dragon deck from working if you item lock them. You can completely stop most water decks from functioning if you item lock them. And just any deck could just randomly cease to function if you hit him with the item lock. But really big play here from Alex. He's got the Parallel City. And Parallel City, when the blue side is facing your side of the board, you got to play with a 3-card bench. The red side makes it so that your Pokemon's water, fire, and grass attacks do 20 less damage, which of course does not matter to the Psychic Gym Leader Challenge deck. So Parallel City continues to be one of the strongest stadium cards in the format. That's one-sided 3 bench Pokemon pressure. I mean, it's just so nuts. It is crazy. Having Parallel City stick for multiple turns can just win a game outright on its own. We saw, I mean, Ben having to choose which Pokemon to get rid of there off of the Parallel can just put you in some really compromising situations. Not only does it pressure your bench as you don't have enough bench space to set up as many Pokemon as you like, but it also pressures your recovery resources, which is something that I think doesn't get enough credit. Like, when your opponent plays Parallel City against you, if they force you to discard 2 Pokemon, it's like those Pokemon got knocked out. And then all of a sudden, you know, you also have to be dealing with the Pokemon that are getting knocked out, and maybe you weren't planning on having to recover that many Pokemon throughout a game, right? It looks like Alex is just going to promote Cresselia. Cresselia is kind of the new hotness that the Psychic Garbodor decks are playing lately. It's got the Moonglow reverse attack, which allows you to move 2 damage counters from all of your Pokemon and put them on one of your opponent's Pokemon. It is a counter to spread decks. It makes a lot of sense with the Garbodor, because when you play Garbodor, you turn off your own bench barrier, right? So like Mew from Unbroken Bonds or Mr. Mime, you've got Garbotoxin turns those off. So if you want to set up Garbodor, your bench barrier is useless. So you need a different way to solve the spread problem. And I think Cresselia is a really interesting option. In a pinch, I mean, it can do 3 energy for 110 damage. It's not like it's not great, but I mean, it also could take a knockout or 2. You know, if push comes to shove, Cresselia can also attack for like just from very medium amount of damage, which certainly gets the job done sometimes. So it's not like the worst Pokemon to have in your deck otherwise. But Moonglow Reverse is very good at doing what it sets out to do, where, you know, if your opponent uses Ting-Lu and use Ground Crasher, does 30 damage to everything, then you can use Moonglow Reverse, and if you have 6 Pokemon in play, then you're going to be healing 120 damage from your board and moving that to your opponent's side of the board for just 1 energy. So very efficient at doing what it needs to do, kind of shuts down the whole Ting-Lu situation. Makes it so that, you know, they're probably just going to run out of stadiums if they keep trying to Ting-Lu you and you keep using Cresselia, and they're going to be taking way more damage than you are, so. We'll see. Ben's got the golden dive ball there. That is a very cool card. From Primal Clash, I think. A dive ball. I feel like for like the gold items, it's really not even that expensive. Like you can find some nice mod played ones, you know, between $10 and $17 or so. You're paying basically between $10 and $20 for that card. That's a really pretty card. I really like the gold dive ball. I feel like it's one of the better golden items for sure. It just looks really nice. Dang, what a nice looking card. Got TV Boy in the chat saying that Alex has just been riding the 3K winner and finalist decks to easy badges. You're 100% correct. That is exactly what he's doing. He played the fighting deck and won a badge with that. Now he's trying to play the second place deck, and he might just be able to win a badge with that too. Turns out those decks are very good. Yes. For sure. I am really loving the Garbodor Psychic deck. I won't consider building Psychic different now. I'm in love with the Garbodor and what it offers. I also have just really been enjoying playing like a lower to the ground Psychic build that just relies on Malamar and Xatu. Like, I just really like that core. The Malamar, Xatu, Garbodor, just really good core. It's simple. Everything else is a basic. The deck just feels like it does what I want it to do a little bit more consistently, while also being able to put pressure in the right places. So I've been enjoying this Garbodor variant of Psychic quite a bit. Now Ben just decides to pass, doesn't attack with the Basculegion, is working on building up that Pala or the Seismitoad on the bench. The Palpitoad, that's right. Which will evolve into Seismitoad eventually. He's got an energy on it. Octillery. Basculegion kind of stranded here in the active. I mean, it can attack. The Basculegion did end up knocking out the Cleffa earlier. I mean, the 30 damage Grudge Dive. But the weird thing about like poking here with Basculegion is like, are you going to do the 30 damage to the Cresselia? Then Alex could just say, like, I'm just going to keep putting 2 damage counters back over to you. And that's just kind of annoying, right? So Ben, I think make it a fine call. Doesn't attack with the Basculegion. You don't want to like put damage counters on Alex's board for him to move over. Just doesn't feel good. Got a comment over on YouTube saying that Lightning Spread was such a top deck, and now it is not performing as well because they suppose that Spread has got more respect than it used to, and Fighting is good. Yeah, and I think that, I mean, Fighting being like a top 3 deck right now is really bad for Lightning because almost everything in Lightning is weak to the Marshadow, right? So like the Marshadow can just go invincible for like multiple turns in a row and just go like really stupid on the whole Lightning deck. The guys are also just really squishy. So, and then you've got like the Ting Lu situation. It's really tough to be Lightning against Fighting. I mean, that matchup is just like unthinkable. But then outside of that, the Psychic matchups I think have gotten a little harder, and Psychic is also a top deck. So like when 2 of the top 3 decks are like your worst matchups, it's just not a good time to be a Lightning deck, unfortunately. Right? Like you're like 2 of your top 3 decks are just horrible matchups. All right, Ben is able to find Seismitoad. But doesn't have the attack. So Alex going to continue on the offensive as Ben has been unable to answer this Iron Boulder. And this Iron Boulder may just get to run away with the game. I mean, honestly, Alex Carpenter has got Garbodor in play now. So Ben's abilities are turned off. This is just a really bad situation for Ben. And I think that we're going to see this Garbodor just completely take over the game. That Garbotoxin ability is activated. Iron Boulder is in the active, swinging for 170 damage. Alex is in the process of getting the Necrozma on the bench built up as well. I mean, you could just tell, I mean, how much of an equalizer is this Garbodor? And that's why this card is so good right now, right? Like, look at Ben's board. 3 of the 4 Pokemon on Ben's board are trying to like use abilities. Octillery wants to be able to draw cards. Sobble wants to evolve into Drizzile and use Shady Dealings. Seismitoad wants to make it so that the opponent needs more energy in order to attack. All of those abilities are shut down. On Alex's side of the board, Alex doesn't have any abilities in play right now. He's got Natu and Malamar, which can help juice extra energy into play. So, but Alex doesn't need that right now because all of his attackers, unlike Ben, all of Alex's attackers are just basic Pokemon. So all you have to do is just pop some energy on the basic Pokemon and then disrupt your opponent's abilities out of working, right, with Garbodor. And then if Ben does find like a field blower to turn those abilities back on, then Alex can be like, okay, thank you, and then use Malamar and Xatu to charge energy into play, then lock the abilities back, and then just like go. It's like, okay, you're saying like you get a turn of abilities, I get a turn of abilities, and then I'm going to turn abilities back off for you again. And the Psychic deck just really thrives in that kind of environment. There are a lot of just really great basic attackers that Psychic can use. And I feel like the Garbodor Malamar Xatu core is just kind of perfect to get those basic attackers up and rolling, while also having the ability to just play as like a big basic ability lock deck. I mean, just basically gives you an answer versus everything. The Garbodor does. Oh, this is a pretty insane turn from Ben. Holy cow. I mean, off of no abilities, was able to piece together Muscle Band, Stadium Counter, and now this Seismitoad. I mean, this is the perfect card that Ben needs, because now Seismitoad's Echoed Voice Attack is going to be swinging for 140 damage instead of 120 on this first turn. And you can see why Ben decided to just kind of sack another turn, because he is not wanting to lose his Seismitoad to this Iron Boulder. And I mean, with the Buddy Buddy Poffin too, and the Surfing Beach in play, now Ben has got a full board, a fresh Seismitoad in the active spot. Now, unfortunately for Ben, that ability is not working. And you can see how stupid strong it would be if that Necrozma on Alex's bench needed to have an extra energy attached to it. Then, I mean, Alex is much more likely to miss the attack if that's the case. We see the Raihan there in Alex's hand. So Alex does have a knockout if he's got Fighting Fury Belt in the deck. And that's the big thing, is that Alex might actually be short, because he's got Fog Crystal, but I don't think he has a special energy for his Necrozma right now. Necrozma's special laser attack only does 160 damage if it has a special energy attached. So Alex Carpenter could go Raihan, attach a Psychic energy from the discard pile to Necrozma, then go get the special energy off of the Raihan, but then Necrozma would only be doing 160 damage, which would not hit the knockout on the Seismitoad. Basically, Alex was 2 cards short in his hand of being able to respond to the Seismitoad with Raihan, but Raihan would only give him 1 of those 2 cards. So missed the combo by 1 piece, and instead has to settle for a Lily's Determination, which is still a solid shuffle draw 6. Benches the Frillish, so we could see it's maybe kind of like a bailout. A bailout, I would say, would be, you know, if Alex maybe just draws into a Psychic and really not much else, could just go into Frillish. But Alex actually whiffs basic Psychic energy entirely, which is kind of the worst case scenario for Alex. He's got counter energy in hand, but counter energy is not activated, so it only provides a colorless energy this turn. So now Alex is in a situation where he has to sack something. He missed the attack, and we see him just pass with the Cresselia. It doesn't even put the counter energy down. I think that that's probably fine. If you put the counter energy on the Necrozma and Ben ends up using Boss or Guzma or something, like, you're in a really, I mean, you basically lose there. And Ben's just going to use Hex to make sure that Alex does not have any access to abilities this next turn. With the Shopping Center in play, Alex can actually turn off his own Garbotoxin ability to use abilities. So it's a really cool interaction. Shopping centers, a stadium, allows you to take a tool card you have in play and just pop it back into your hand. So with a shopping center, you can actually lift the tool card off of Garbodor, which then unleashes, or not unleashes, it unlocks your abilities. And then you can just reattach the tool after you picked it up with Shopping Center, reactivate Garbotoxin, and continue swinging. It's a really cool interaction. We're actually seeing Alex do it right now. And is going to Raihan, get an extra energy attached to that Mewtwo. Did end up having the counter energy and the Fighting Fury belt in hand. So didn't have to Raihan for any of those pieces. And this Necrozma is going to be swinging for 170 damage, which is perfect math to knock out the Seismitoad. And since Ben Morse played Hex Maniac last turn, Alex can actually afford to undo his own ability lock if he wants to, but I don't know that he wants to give Ben a turn of abilities first. So we do see Alex decide to relock the abilities. And I think that that makes sense. And Necrozma's going to come up. Special Laser, 170 damage for the knockouts. Alex will go to 3 prizes remaining. Decides to take Mimikyu. I mean, it's a tough set of options there. You got Dimension Valley, one of the best cards in your deck. You got Xatu, one of the best cards in your deck. But decides to go with Mimikyu. I mean, Mimikyu is kind of that clutch attacker at this point in the game. It can allow you to just chain attacks when it's a do or die situation. The abilities are still locked, obviously, because of Garbotoxin. So Ben still does not have access to any of his abilities and has to respond. I mean, really, Ben is in a tough spot now, right? Because all Ben needs, or Ben is in a really tough spot now because he has to respond to this Necrozma, right? And he doesn't have the abilities to do that. So still is in a really tough spot. I mean, Ben was looking like he was in an okay position when he responded to the Boulder, but now that Alex has been able to solve that Seismitoad problem with this Necrozma, Alex is looking like he's sitting pretty in like a really good spot in this game. Because Ben would have to handle this Necrozma with something that is maybe not getting handled itself next turn. Like, that's how Ben wins. Does have Aqua Patch in hand, but again, without these abilities, I think he does have Verse Seeker maybe, though. So Verse Seeker could make anything happen. That's why I think we see him checking his discard pile so much. Yeah, Verse Seeker, about the strongest card you could possibly hope for. What are we? I think Ben might have mispromoted here. Is that what he's? I don't know. Why is Palafin the one that's getting promoted here? This felt, Palafin getting promoted feels like a horrible promote. I don't really know what he's doing there. Because shouldn't Castform have always gotten promoted? Yeah, so I don't understand that line there from Ben of why the Palafin got promoted. Looks like he's going to use Versus Seeker for Lily's Determination just to go to 6. Because if the Palafin's on the bench, then you could Aqua Patch to the Palafin, evolve into, or that's a Finizen, excuse me. The Finizen should have always been on the bench, right? Because if you Aqua Patch to the Finizen and then find, Palafin out of the deck, I mean, you could just Justice Kick this thing for knockout. Enhanced Hammer, certainly going to be a good play. That could do a lot of work. Alex notably did not take the Dimension Valley off those prizes. And here, I mean, like, really, here, I mean, look, this game is so different. If Alex takes that Dimension Valley instead of the Mimikyu, then he just says, okay, put down Dimension Valley, and if I find Horror Psychic or Mystery Energy, then I'm swinging again. But now, chose to take that Mimikyu. The Mimikyu, very useless right now with where this game is developed to. I think that the Mimikyu over the Dimension Valley is always incorrect. Now that I'm kind of thinking about it, I think that's actually, if Alex Carpenter ends up losing this game, I think you could pretty much chalk it up to that Dimension Valley not getting the grab there. The more I look at Alex's board and think about it, the Dimension Valley makes it so that Mewtwo also can just attack for 2 energy next turn. So what do you even need Mimikyu for, right? Like, you already have Necrozma in the active and Mewtwo on the bench. Even if you say that Necrozma gets knocked out, if you took D-Valley makes it so your Mewtwo is like attacking very easily. This is the really cool play here. Alex Carpenter has got the shopping center, which turns his abilities back on and then allows him to use Malamar Psychic Recharge to attach an energy from the discard pile to Mewtwo. I mean, just a really, really neat interaction there. Just one-sided ability lock. And we are just in a very tight situation in this game. Both players at 3 prizes remaining. It's about as close as it could possibly get. This Frostlass will be able to, I think, take the knockout. What, 140? You're doing 110. It will actually miss the knockout this turn. Frostlass does 140 damage because Alex used Barrier Attack. And Barrier Attack makes it so that you take 30 less damage. So the Frostlass is missing KO. But the Field Blower will make it so that Frostlass takes KO. So a huge finds there from Ben Morse. The Field Blower, absolutely game-changing. Not only making it so that he could take a knockout, but making it so that he does have access to his abilities again. So we'll have exactly, 1 turn to use these abilities. He could use Octillery's Abyssal Hand. Could use Intellion's Shady Dealings. Do you even want to scoop up net anything here? I feel like just the cast form, right? Yeah. Because you don't want to reset the Finizen, or you don't want to reset any evolving Pokemon. But Ben is trying to get an extra draw, I think, with the Octillery. Now, Ben is going to have to pick up the pace. This game will end, and it will end in a tie. I think Ben is playing kind of at the very limits of what I would consider legal play. He's playing quite slow. Can use Octillery, fill his hand to 5. And then Frostlass will take the knockouts with Spiteful Sigh, placing 7 damage counters on himself. Does 140 base damage, minus 30 from the barrier attack. 110 will take the knockouts. Ben goes to 2 prizes to Alex's 3. Just 5 minutes left in this game. And a research. I mean, that's about as good as it gets from Alex. I was going to say, Alex is just throwing the tool onto the Garbodor before using Malamar, but then I realized that Shopping Center is in play. So that is very cool, as Alex Carpenter is able to put the Float Stone into play, and then after the Sycamore, we'll take the Float Stone out of play, making it so that his Psychic Recharge ability works. And then at the end of the turn, we'll relock the ability once again. And I have to feel like Alex Carpenter is in a very powerful position in this game. I mean, Ben is up a prize, but Alex does need to start moving if he wants to win this game, because time is ticking, and Alex taking this knockout with the Frillish is actually huge. Frillish doing 20 damage and inflicting item lock with its Oceanic Gloom attack. Alex tying the game up while inflicting item lock. Ben is on the clock. There are 3.5 minutes left in this game, and it goes to +1 turns. Both of these players need to play with a little more urgency if they want to see this game conclude. Especially Ben has to take a knockout. He does have boss's orders, will be able to grudge dive. Looks like he's going to take out the Garbodor this turn. Boss's orders. And Ben's going to go to just 1 prize remaining. Taking out the Garbodor means that he will have access to his abilities on the final turn of the game. And now it's looking like Ben may be able to mount this comeback with the boss's orders 1-hit KO on the Garbodor. Just 1 prize left to take. Ben will guarantee have 1 more turn to play in this game. Guaranteed, because it's +1 turn. Alex needs 2 turns to win. So if Alex wants to have another turn in this game, first of all, he needs to not lose next turn, but then also would need to end turn before time is called, because we are doing +1 turns right now. So Alex certainly going to go in with Mewtwo, the closer in this situation. Ideally, you want a Luxurious Cape for that Mewtwo as well to give it +100 HP, and there it is. Mewtwo has got the Limit Break attack, does 180 damage. But like I said, if Alex wants to have an opportunity to potentially win this game, he does need to end turn before time is expired. Alex also playing, kind of very, I would say slow at this point. I mean, this is the critical turn in the game, so I would say that Alex looks as if he's kind of taken like the, he's moving along now. But I would say, with 60 seconds left, you got to act with a little urgency if you want this game to conclude. Guaranteed. It is going to come down to whether or not Ben can find the winning cards on his final turn. Does have Octillery and Inteleon to do that. Obviously, Alex Carpenter cannot give up 1 more prize card. Zatu's Clairvoyant Sense. And is time going to be called? You got to move, Alex. Now, turns are decided when the player draws their card. All right, so now Alex did get in there. All right, it is Ben's turn. Ben either wins this turn or Alex will have a chance to win on the following turn. Ben's deck is extremely small. I think Boss's Orders and Intellion, I think, are both in there. Ben has already used his Field Blower, and there is time. So Ben is turn 0. Alex ended his turn with maybe 30 seconds to spare there. I think I see Guzma is in Ben's hand. But I don't know if he could get his hand down to size to use Octillery. Can he? He must be able to. He's got Palafin in hand. I think maybe he's out of energy. Folks, I think Ben is out of energy, right? Does he have an energy in hand? I don't think Ben has the resources to win. So Ben is out of energy. He does not have the final energy he needs to win this game. Boss Palafin would just win. He found Raihan, and Raihan gets him an energy, but this luxurious cape makes it so that he does not win. So Ben can attack, but he doesn't have Muscle Band. If he had Muscle Band, he could just do 230 damage to the Mewtwo with Palafin, with Raihan. And you do Justice Kick plus Muscle Band. Doesn't have Muscle Band anymore. I thought I saw Palafin in Ben's hand, but I guess Palafin is not available. And now Ben has to try and figure out how not to lose. I think that Alex has win. I mean, wouldn't have win if Ben promotes something with over 180 hit points, which he can. He's got Luxurious Cape. Then Alex would have to have Boss or Guzma to win. So it may just end up being a tie. Now, Ben is certainly playing far slower than legal pace of play right now. I understand you're in plus turns, but this is why plus 3 turns has been eliminated from tournament play. Like literally right here. You're literally seeing why, right? Because players will kind of just take a very long time to decide. If the timer is stopped and they get guaranteed turns, players will just kind of take that for all it's worth, right? Ben is going to use Raihan, get Intellion, and just promote the Intellion. And Alex Carpenter has Boss for win, and that is the game. Wow. Alex Carpenter, not what Ben wanted to see. Obviously, when you're chasing the badge like Ben is, Alex Carpenter is the last person you want to be losing to, because Alex Carpenter is already the badge leader with 3 badges so far this year. Now on his way to a 4th, being one of the only players that is 4-0 right now. And you could see why Ben was really racking his head, racking his brain, trying to figure out the best plays possible because of how much is really at stake in this match. If Alex wins this match, not only does he win the game, potentially knock Ben out of his opportunity to earn a badge this week, but also Alex Carpenter that is one step closer to earning his 4th badge, 4 more badges than Ben Morse has so far this year. So you could see why Ben desperately wanted to win that game. Man, that was a wild one, folks. I mean, really, really great game. Well played by both players. I mean, an absolute joy to watch, for sure. That was a great game. GG's to both players. Wow. Yeah, that one was crazy for sure. I think I decided what I want to do is that like league night like this. You know, when I see like a game I really like that one, you know, I want to just start like immediately start uploading them to the VOD channel so that like I can kind of have them stowed in a way. I've done it a few times, but I haven't been like consistent about it. I would like to be more consistent about it. So there we go. So yeah, I recorded that game as a standalone video there. And I just started uploading it to YouTube. So I think if I just start doing that a little bit more consistently, then I kind of the VOD channel can be a place where I kind of like just clip out my favorite games from League Night, like the most interesting games from League Night. So yeah, I definitely want to start doing that more. I just have to get like a workflow down that allows me to consistently do it. And I think like if I just kind of like start recording at the beginning of every game, then I just don't even have to edit the video at all, right? I just literally can just like send it because the start and stop points are already kind of like determined at the perfect time. So Alex Carpenter playing for badge number 4. He is the only 4-0 right now, up against Vincent Aretano, who is in the hunt for his first badge. Now, Vincent, at a record of 3-1, has the opportunity to play spoiler because Alex is guaranteed. Alex Carpenter will be guaranteed badge number 4, 2026 Full Grip Games Gym Leader Challenge Championship Series. If he wins this, he's 4-0 right now, field of 19 players. And Vincent would have an opportunity to play the role of spoiler if he can get this win with fighting. He's got a record of 3-1 right now. So if he wins, he will go to 4-1. Alex Carpenter will knock down to 4-1. And then it'll come down to resistance to see which player ends up taking home the badge and the win tonight. So if Vincent wins, he is not guaranteed the win, though. He has a shot. If Vincent wins, he has a chance to win. Alex Carpenter may still win, even if he loses. Or if Ben Morse wins his final round, then Ben Morse could win. It all comes down to resistance, and resistance is the tiebreaker used in Pokemon trading card game tournaments. Your resistance is the average of your opponent's win percentages. So if your opponents played better, got more wins than other people's opponents, then that's your tiebreaker, right? So that's how the winner ends up getting decided in the case that there are multiple 4-1 players. Now, Vincent, we'll see what Vincent has in hand. Alex Carpenter, not the most impressive turn one. No supporter played from Alex. Just had to Fog Crystal for a Cleffa and pass. But does Vincent have anything to pounce on this? I don't see a Rainbow Energy. I mean, so it is just going to be double basic fighting to Okie Dokie and Good Punch for 70. Now, thankfully, this Necrozma is not one of those new Psychic Pokemon that resists fighting. Ooh, and Alex Carpenter, as it is right now, is 2 turns away from getting benched out and losing. All right, does actually have an energy drop and a Guzma, so can use Cleffa to draw maybe a couple of cards. 2 cards exactly with Grasping Draw, a pair of energy. The energy will allow Alex to attack with Necrozma if a knockout is taken. Vincent does find Colress's Tenacity. Gonna go get Brooklet Hill and an energy card out of the deck. Looks like Brooklet Hill and Prism. Brooklet Hill can go get another basic Pokemon from the deck. We'll see who Vincent decides to get. And you know what's crazy is this is literally the rematch of the Gym Leader Challenge 3K Finals from just a couple weeks ago. You know, these 2 decks, I feel like this is like a very good snapshot of the Gym Leader Challenge metagame right now. Fighting and Psychic are 2 of the top decks. Water is right there in the mix as well, as we saw Ben versus Alex had a very close matchup. The escape rope here is crazy. And Vincent looking like he may just be able to catapult himself to a win over the Psychic deck as Alex just kind of fumbles out the gate. Prism Energy to the Okie Dokie, swinging for 170 damage. Does Alex top deck Cresselia? So not totally out of it. Does have Rescue Stretcher. Certainly has his back against the wall, but Alex does have cards to play. Has to decide who he wants to put energy on. Looks like maybe Cresselia. Does have Raihan in hand, but like there are no basic energy in the discard pile. So I think what maybe Alex is doing is saying like, all right, I want a Grasping Draw. Verseeker for Guzma. All right, so going to Retreat and then Guzma. I like this play from Alex. Just to burn those cards out of the hand. And then Grasping Draw for a couple. I do like the decision from Alex to put a basic energy into play. By putting the basic Psychic Energy on the Cresselia, you're making it so that you can activate Raihan next turn. Because Raihan requires that you have a Psychic Energy in the discard pile. But Alex doesn't have that yet. He's just been unable to get a Psychic Energy in the discard pile. So his hand's not like totally dead. But in order for that Raihan to be active, he needs to figure out a way to get a Psychic Energy into the discard pile. And the best thing for Alex to do was to put that Psychic Energy onto Cresselia, because it makes it so that if he absolutely has to, he can retreat the Cresselia if the Cleffa gets knocked out, and then get a Psychic Energy in the discard pile so that then he can use Raihan. So heads up attachment there from Alex. I did like the Psychic drop on the Cresselia. I think that that's smart. Though attaching an energy to Necrozma it does make it feel like you're that much closer to attacking. So I might have actually preferred just that mystery, the special energy going on to the Necrozma, if that was an option. Because as we saw, Alex did end up finding you got Mysterious Treasure or Ultra Ball, could both maybe discard the Psychic Energy if you find those. Oh, we got a Brooklet Hill. We've got Soul Rock and Lunatone in play. And then Alex's hand going to get sent to the bottom of the deck with Marnie. I always hate to have a big 7-card hand sent to the bottom of the deck. And this, of course, was the risk of Alex committing the Psychic Energy to the Cresselia, is that now he's got a Psychic Energy in the Cresselia, which is like not really what he wants. Vincent going to get Training Quartz to retreat Lunatone. Lunatone able to use that Lunar Cycle as well. Draw lots of cards for Vincent. Vincent just looking like he's in a great position right now, as Okie Dokie just continues to do what Okie Dokie does. And with the Fighting Fury Belt, or with the Focus Sash on the Okie Dokie, it can't be one-hit KO'd. That is an incredible card for this fighting deck. And I have to say, it looks like Vincent is just going to run away with this. Fighting Fury Belt, Horse Psychic Energy. Now, this is actually interesting because if Alex does just sit here with the Cresselia in the active and take a hit from this Okie Dokie with the Horror Psychic Energy, the Cresselia will actually survive a hit because it resists fighting and has got a Fury Belt on it right now. So 170 damage minus 30 is 140. Cresselia has 160 hit points. The 20 damage from the Horror Psychic Energy would would have broken the sash on the Okie Dokie. And then if Alex survives a hit, right, with the Cresselia, with the Fury Belt on it, then maybe can get an energy and Lunar Blast the Okie Dokie for knockout. Like, maybe that's an option, right? But right now, Alex's hand is dead. Vincent is taking another one-hit knockout with a Okie Dokie. And Psychic having the type advantage does not even matter. It just doesn't even matter. Because Alex is kind of just like going through the motions. The deck just completely non-operational. Completely non-operational. Now, Alex does find a Pokegear here, so has an option to look at the top 7 cards of his deck, maybe find a spoiler area. You did see he almost kind of dove to play the Pokegear, but realized that this could be the final turn of his of the game. So does have to thin his deck first with Evolution Incense, then play Pokegear to increase his odds of finding a supporter. Does find teammates. Teammates can get him any 2 cards he wants. But can 2 cards solve this problem? The answer is no. So I think I agree with Alex's assessment. It's got to be an N to 6. And hope that you find some good ones. Like, because if Alex doesn't find any good ones, he loses. I think it does make, you definitely aren't going to be able to win this game with just 2 cards. I mean, hypothetically, you could go maybe Counter Energy, Dimension Valley, Knockout with Necrozma, Special Laser, but then you gave yourself a 0-card hand, and you have to top deck a Miracle in order to stay in the game. Like, I don't know. Maybe, right? Maybe. But I think Alex just loses on the spot. Oh my gosh, almost. I think it's a Mimikyu there. So does not lose on the spot, but like, almost. And really just a terrible draw off the end. Which is why I almost like the teammates knockout play better. Boss Mimikyu, knockout with Ogie Dogie. Is it going to be a Dogie sweep? Ogie Dogie has got to be the strongest card in Gym Leader Challenge right now. It has to be. This card is obscene. I mean, Alex is drawing total garbage. Don't get me wrong. It has not been a fair or competitive game. But this Ogie Dogie is still obscene. This is very good. 230 hit points. 170 damage. 2 energy. All right, Alex does have more options now. So we get an energy onto Boulder. The crazy thing is, Alex is not like totally out of this game either. A route does exist. You could see why he hasn't given up yet. It's not like Vincent's board is that scary. It really is just a Dogie, right? Like, I mean, it's just, you can see why Alex is not giving up. It's just an Ogie Dogie. The hardest part is over. The sash is broken, right? So all Alex has to do is swing into it now, and he could potentially win. I mean, Vincent doesn't have a guaranteed backup attacker. Looks like it's going to be a retreat into Frillish Pass. Karina will allow Vincent to get a fighting Pokemon and an item card from the deck, put it into the hand. I assume the fighting Pokemon you'd want to get is Lucario. If Lucario is indeed in the deck, there's the Lucario. And then get an item 2. I do like the Magma Ball grab. I was thinking I saw Magma Ball in Vincent's hand. And, getting a basic fighting out of the deck does kind of seem like something you really want to do this turn, right? You could Lunar Cycle, just draw more. or even get an energy drop. I think Vincent's hand is not fantastic. The only other supporter in his hand is Ball Guy. So I do suspect that Vincent will use this fighting energy to Lunar Cycle and draw 3 cards. Getting the energy attachment is valuable, but I think if you're lucky, you use Lunar Cycle and then draw into another energy, plus maybe a draw card for the following turn. So I would expect this energy to be Lunar Cycled. Oh, especially since Vincent has 2 energy in hand. Yeah, well, absolutely. I didn't see that second fighting. So, yes, with the guaranteed attachment for turn. Second fighting, going on to Lucario for safekeeping. Now, Vincent's board is looking a lot more scary because he's got the Lucario, which can Avenging Knuckle. Does 150 damage if one of your fighting Pokemon was knocked out the previous turn. So that is a nice backup attacker. However, notably, Lucario's Avenging Knuckle does not knock out Iron Boulder. Iron Boulder has 140 hit points and a fighting resistance. So effectively has 170 hit points. Vincent would need a buff in order to take that knockout. And Okie Dokie does it again. Good punch. 170 damage through that fighting resistance on the Frillish. And Alex has to go Lily's Determination to 8. I mean, we're asking for a 6-1 comeback. It's a big ask. But it is hypothetically possible, so long as Vincent doesn't already have Guzma or Boss in hand. Because Alex did not have the hand disruption this turn. It's going to 8. It does have to hand match in order to take a knockout, while also finding another energy. And yeah, Alex feeling the heat here from this fighting deck. I don't think he has the energy, so I don't even think he can attack. Prized, oh my goodness, half his prizes. And you can see the look on his face. Devastated. Absolutely devastated. It's just been bad beats for Alex all game. There's nothing he can do. 170 damage coming in. Perfect math to knock out everything. And that's good punch for game. And Vincent completes the job and defeats Alex Carpenter, potentially holding him back from earning badge number 4. Alex came into this round 4-0. His tournament to lose, fate and destiny in his hands. If he could just win his final round, he wins his 4th badge of the 2026 season. Unable to do it, Vincent taken down round number 5 with fighting. And now the results of the events will come down to which player has the best resistance. Will it be Alex Carpenter, Vincent, or maybe the winner between Ben Morse and his final opponent? That's going to do it for our league night. If you want to figure out who tonight's winner is, make sure to follow Full Grip TCG over on X, Twitter, and we will be posting our winners as soon as we can, as soon as the tournament completes. That's going to do it for me tonight. Thank you so much for watching. You all have a lovely evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back next week with some more Phantasmal Flames testing with Jesse Parker. That is happening on Wednesday. And then Gym Leader Challenge League night next Thursday. Also, the Ruby and Sapphire to Power Keepers tournament retro event is happening at Full Grip Games on Saturday. I'll be commentating over the whole thing. It's going to be a ton of fun, so make sure to tune in to that as well. I will see you guys on Saturday.